Welcome to the First Choice.
Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. And tonight, me and Enzo are going to be talking about Danny DeVito's 1987 dark comedy, Throw Mama from the Train. And here he is.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Good. I don't even find this movie that dark, really. It's I don't know. I grew up watching this movie. I watched it since I was a little kid.
Well, it's dark. It's dark in nature, isn't it? Like it's because you do have characters that are both psychologically damaged and do have the potential to be doing something psychotic.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I mean, we see a little bit later at the end, so. But yeah. It is the one of those films that I always forget is good until I watch it. You know, and hearing you talk about it on one of your streams kind of reminded me, shit, I need to rewatch this movie again because it's really
Lance was bringing up the train movies. We were like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, Throw Mama from the Train. I think that's how we brought it up.
And very sadly, he's not including it on his list because the train only pops up at the end.
I guess. I mean. Train action movies, you know, there's so many. Unstoppable.
Yeah, that's why we're falling out with Lance. We don't want to be friends with you because you don't put this movie on your train list. So, but
yeah,
I've always a very funny movie. Though. I know it is funny. It is really funny. It's I think it's kind of becoming a little bit more underrated these days. I don't know if it was a big smash hit in when it first came out. So
yeah, it was. It was pretty big. I think it was the 13th highest grossing movie of 87. It was you know, I don't know. My mom, you know, she used to always quote Throw Mama from the Train. We used to watch it. It was one of those movies. I guess it came out when I was like 2 years old, you know. So it was one of those movies that's just always been around my life. My mom and my dad both love this movie. So, you know, watched it a lot. But it's one of those movies that's way funnier when you're older, obviously.
Yeah, especially when you've watched a lot of other movies, especially the Hitchcock thrillers, because there's obviously every shot is inspired by Hitchcock's. The fact that he goes close up to his face and he's holding up the tie, and then it just reveals he's just handing him the tie. That's it.
Yeah, but Barry Sonnenfeld was the director of photography, and
he does that. Yeah, because he did a lot for the Coen brothers as well. That's why you get these like wide angle lens, you know, where you get these close up shots where it frames people as if they're monsters in some kind of surreal nightmare.
Well, that's like the joke because Danny DeVito, you know, he's made a few movies and they're all good. Matilda, Duplex, a few others. Hoffa.
Yeah, he did that. I like Death to Smoochie as well. I thought that was very underrated.
Death to Smoochie, right?
It's a shame that film.
Yeah. He does do these very extreme camera angles, like these Hitchcockian camera angles in all of his movies. And I always joke how, like, because it's a Danny DeVito film, you could tell because the camera is rarely like higher than like 5 feet off the ground. It's always like a mid-level shot. Yeah. It's always like looking up at, you know, especially in Matilda, you know.
Yeah, especially with Miss Trunchbull, because it does kind of make sense. She's this towering, imposing figure, and it's kind of the same type of shot that Orson Welles did in what was the one where with Charlton Heston? I forgot the name. Touch of Evil. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, even
Yeah,
when
and it
they
is good. It
filmed,
works. It works.
yeah, even when they filmed Danny DeVito in Matilda, like they filmed him like looking up at him, and he's like towering. He's like 5'4" or something. So good. But yeah, I don't know this movie. Yeah, it's one of those things where you think the Hitchcock references are pretty blatant, but they're like there's tons of them. Like it's subtle all over the movie. Like even
Yeah, no, it's not just a rip-off, is it? I mean, it's not just a parody either. It's actually a very good homage as well. It's because it's got all the suspense as well.
You've got like him living with Mother. It's very Anthony Perkins style, and Mother's house is
yeah, she's got bad decorations, hasn't she?
Norman Bates is what I meant to say, not Anthony Perkins. But yeah, she's got a bunch of framed pictures in the house of like birds, which she's that's the same thing as Psycho, and also the birds, Alfred Hitchcock, and obviously Strangers on a Train's the big one. But yeah, there's just a bunch of little nods that I think you could think are coincidences, but I'm sure most of them are deliberate.
Yeah, what I also like is that the characters are very detestable, even though Owen is kind of a bit nuts. There is an innocence to him.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. Also, not a huge list of characters too. You've got Owen and Larry, Larry's girlfriend, Larry's neighbor, Owen's mom,
students. Don't forget students,
and then a handful of students and police officers. But like, really, there's like 5 like main characters. Owen's Larry's ex-wife also.
Yeah, the other characters are kind of like caricatures, aren't they? In a way, like the students are just these sort of weirdos who want to be writers, but at the same time, they have no idea how to be good writers. It's like the woman that goes, "Die," said the captain with the thingamajig. It's like
the writer of this movie has a very low opinion of community college screenwriter students. I don't know. But to be fair, I went to school. I went to graphic arts school, and I minored in film. And I would take a lot of film classes with film majors. And film majors are fucking, they're weird, delusional, narcissistic people. Who think.
Yeah, and Billy Crystal definitely is a little bit. You can sort of tell. Every time his students are reading out the books that they're written, his soul is just dying inside, and it is so fucking funny to watch. It really is.
Yeah, they
Billy
say.
Crystal, self-despair.
Yeah, they say like if you can't do, teach. So this idea that he starts off like the first thing we see is like him struggling to write the first sentence. The night was,
yeah,
struggling
and
to write
been
the first sentence.
July. It's like
yeah, and so he's trying to write. He's not really doing it. So instead, he's just teaching kids. But then again, on like, it's kind of like me and you. Like we've watched a lot of movies and we know how to criticize movies well. It's easy to like give people pointers on what makes a good movie, but then at the same time, it's like, well, what have we done in the film world, realistically, that gives us this permission to like critique others, So there's like this like identity crisis.
I will admit it because I would have no idea how to write a film. I just I know what I like when I watch it.
Right.
If I sat down and wrote it, I'd be like, shit. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite.
Anyone can be a critic, really. I mean, that's this idea that you have to be a great chef in order to critique food. No, everyone eats. Everyone watches movies. But you said like a lot of people go through this kind of identity crisis. When they become teachers or critics. They haven't really done much in the field. It's just easy to get in your own head type thing. I mean, because that's the thing. I love hearing people talking about like budgets of movies. They like all these YouTube streams sound like it's like fantasy accounting. For Hollywood. Like these guys are like acting like, well, this movie cost this much, so it actually probably cost this much in reality. And if it wants to make money, it has to make this much. It's like, dude, you don't know. You're not on the board of directors at Warner or whatever. A lot of movies, I don't know either. That's the thing. It's like we don't know how these inner workings work. We don't know what kind of money they're getting.
Yeah, I know what like if they've made it on a budget of 100 million, they have to make 300 million, something like that. It's
like that's not necessarily true because that's the other thing. Is like box office.
Yeah, that's just an example. That's all hypothetical.
Right. No, yeah, I'm just saying, the theaters don't make all their money. Theaters don't give away half the money. way less than half. Movies don't need to make twice their budget to profit. Also, movies don't make all their money in the theater. Remember, like people are like just forgetting basic stuff. Also, there's merchandising and product placement, all these things that help ease the costs of these giant movies. But this movie's great because it's very, I want to say low budget, but I wouldn't say that this movie
modest.
Modest movie, modest plot, modest story, modest set piece. I mean, the big action piece just takes place on a train. It's not like a car chase or something, you basically just like throw an old lady off of a train for a second, I mean, that's like the biggest stunt in the movie.
And she did do a stunt herself as well, even though she was dying of cancer, which is pretty ballsy as well.
Yeah, she has throat cancer, which is why she sounds like that in this movie.
Yeah, because they removed like some of her tongue, didn't they, and some parts of her mouth as well. Which is why she's slurring a little bit. It's
it was very unfortunate. This is a few years after Goonies, but she was also she got an Oscars. I did not know this, but she did get a supporting actress nomination for the Oscars. I did not know that.
Yeah, fucking hell, I forgot about that, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
She didn't. I think she died a few months before the ceremony or something. After, I can't remember. But it's actually weird because when Owen says at the end that Mommy passed away, it's like the next year, 88, which is the year she died, which is weird.
Yeah, it does also make it a bit sad as well, even though you've kind of just seen this old woman who's just downright nasty, but you don't know if it's deliberate, if it's just if it's just a mental illness, head dementia.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like old people, you gotta, you have to love them unconditionally. Your old senile crazy parents. It's just that's kind of one of the things about this movie is like you don't really like. Why do you think Owen wants to kill his mom? Like she's mean to him a little bit. I think it's mostly like he wants to put her out of her misery, I think it's like more of a mercy killing,
But you do see him. You do see little hints of him just losing his fucking temper after that, saying, "Right, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill her."
Yeah. You could tell that. I've been living with my mother for the past 5 years, and it's been chill. But I imagine if she was fucking senile and I had to like change her diapers and stuff and she's throwing coffee cups at me and shit, it'd be easy to lose your cool, but I mean living with mom's great. It's fun. She's a nice old lady, but if she's not a nice old lady, you still got to be like, okay, whatever, mom, you got to treat them like babies basically. That's how it was with grandmother, in her final years, she'd have these like temper tantrums like a child, because she did get dementia, towards the end. And it was pretty crazy. But, you just got to smile and just love her anyway and not try to kill her. That's like, don't try to throw her off of a train or whatever, or poison her Pepsi with lye or whatever the hell.
You clumsy fool. What do you do that for?
Yeah, you clumsy poop. It's one of the funniest. You clumsy poop.
Head delivery is just brilliant. Head delivery.
The way she says it with like spraying like on the spittle on the pee. You crazy poop. It's just like, oh, it's so perfect. And I love this picture you have here.
I know. I was looking for loads, but I thought, no, this is perfect. This is the perfect background for it.
And Ramsey, God bless her.
Rest in peace.
And it's crazy that Danny DeVito, still kicking, because the guy partied. He smokes, he drinks. He was an actor. He probably did a bunch of blow cane in the 70s, and he's trucking along. Good for him.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy as well. He's
oh yeah,
because he plays a lot of sleazebags, but this is one of the few times where he's actually very innocent. Even though he's kind of this annoying, socially awkward, weird guy. He's like wants to be a writer, but his best at the moment is just two guys, one with a hat who kills him just because he's crazy, and it's a book that's 2 pages.
Dude, everyone's like upset at him right now because he made some inappropriate comments about what it was like to work with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. He was he was basically saying like when I knew she was coming on set, I'd get all nervous, like I lusted for her. She was so hot, and I'm like, yeah, she was. What are you talking about?
He said this in a fucking Batman Returns interview years ago. It's like saying Yeah, that's why I was all lusty with her, because when she's in that cat suit, I just want that pussy. I mean, he said this years ago. This is nothing new, and he was mostly just taking the piss a little bit as well. He's Danny DeVito. His roots are in comedy, even though he's done plenty of good straight roles.
What I think it is people don't want to think of Danny DeVito as a sexual being, but he is. He's a man who fucks. Danny DeVito.
I mean, I think he's done a lot worse in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
One of my favorite moments ever of anything ever is when Danny DeVito is like chugging a beer on the side of the street and he just starts like vomit burping like beer foam all over himself for real. It's like, so that's the acting. That's the craft right there. Like, I'm going to literally like vomit burp beer foam all over myself to get a laugh. Like, that's so awesome.
Oh, I'm going to have to do It's Always It's Always Sunny stream one day though, because that show is just still funny. It's season 16 nearly, and it's still going strong.
Here's the thing: like the Sunny people, they have their own podcast, and what they do is they do an episode for every they do an episode for every episode. So each episode is just about the one episode. So yeah, I feel like how you could talk about It's Always Sunny. I feel like you could do each episode and talk about each one for about an hour or two.
I know I don't think I could do a top 5 because there's just so many of them. They're nearly all gold.
Top 50. I mean, you could do like a top 50.
I know any episodes that are past season 1 are gold standard. Season 1's okay, but the rest is where it really starts to get going.
Yeah, but, I think the first episode that got me hooked was the gang turns invincible, where they all go to the football tryouts and they take acid, and the big Hoyle's extended family show up for the first time, and Danny DeVito's locked in that fucking RV toilet. He's locked in a porta potty toilet. Dude,
it's just laugh about moment. It's like you got these 5 people who are just terrible human beings, but they're just so fun to watch. It's just so fun watching them just ruin the lives of everyone around them.
Yeah, I don't think anyone here in this movie is like a terrible person per se.
No, they've got problems. I think Billy Crystal might be a little bit closer to being a psychotic, because he nearly kills Danny DeVito at the end. He does. Yeah. Close to choking him today.
Everyone's got this like dark edge. I think that's the kind of another thing this movie says is like a lot of people talk the talk. I'm gonna kill this person, but it's
we all have our demons as well,
but it's actually harder than you think to commit murder. Also, it's easier than you think, maybe. Who knows? But like as far as like even like Janeway, Billy Crystal's ex-wife, what's her name in her character name? You could think that she's a terrible character, terrible person, but like really. It's like you don't know what it was like to be married to Billy Crystal, the struggling writer. He was probably,
not it's probably
the
best. Like Jack Owens, wasn't he? A little bit.
Yeah, he's one of these guys who like you empathize with him, and you think that he's the victim in the relationship, and his ex-wife is on Oprah getting interviewed for a book that she allegedly stole from him, and it's like she's talking about how like being married to him was a nightmare, and it's like I don't think she's lying.
I think there's another way as well. You kind of don't like her because she seems a little bit stuck up too.
Right?
So
no,
it's less ambiguous though, isn't it? It really is.
No, but she is stuck up, and she like I said, she's on Oprah. She's got a best-selling novel called Hot Fire, which is a fucking terrible title. And she's very like, oh well, my ex-husband kind of fancied himself a writer as well. It was
you don't get more layers as well, because when he's with the agent as well, it's like he's had plenty of opportunities to make money off the writing, but because he's an artist, to compromise his art, and but mate, you're putting yourself in a position where you have to pay the fucking rent. Sometimes you got to sort of like do the shitty things and then do your vision while doing it.
Yeah, it seems like he's kind of like a one-hit wonder type thing, because he's got his one book, Hot Fire, that his wife stole, and he's been trying to write something else for like almost a decade. And it's like, if like, what's the problem here? It's like if you're a band, the worst is when a band gets on a band comes out with a good album, and usually that first album takes several years to make. It's like several years they're together. They write a bunch of good songs, and they pick the best 12 and put them on an album, and the album does really good. And people in the band is like, everywhere now. They're getting on Tonight shows and stuff and movie soundtracks. But now it's like, okay, now you got to make a second album in like a year. In the first album probably took you like 5 years to make. So you gotta have like, that's what I was saying. Like, so you gotta have like a big plethora of songs before you start trying to put albums out. You want to have a second and third album like kind of ready to go.
Yeah, it's got contracts as well for like you got to have a contract to do 7 albums, so you've got to get that stuff. You got to make that quota.
Yeah, same thing with like writing. Like, I wouldn't advise anyone to try to get into selling scripts or book ideas unless you have like at least a few ideas for a few good stories. You shouldn't just like all put all your eggs into the one basket. I got one awesome book and I'm going to sell it. And it's like, great. What else do you got? And you're like, nothing, but I could give you another one in like 10 years. People don't like to hear that. But yeah,
I could probably throw a few ideas, but I'll leave the actual talented writers to try and make a story out of it. Because
like Quentin Tarantino, he didn't try to make his big break into Hollywood until he had like 6 or 7 scripts, like full scripts ready, which is crazy. That's like a bit much. Like, he definitely had he sold the rights for he sold the script for True Romance. And then he had Reservoir Dogs that he was making, but yeah, he also had From Dusk Till Dawn written a long time ago, and a few others. I mean, it's good to be prepared, basically, and not oversell yourself.
Yep, and this is a character that is really not prepared because he's obviously been trying to write for a long time, but he's still stuck on that line. The nice was. And he just can't get it. And this is a very good opening sequence as well, because it's just him just stuck.
Yeah.
The entire opening credits, he's stuck. And visually, you get what's up with this guy. He's a writer, he's struggling, he's fiddling about. Yeah. He's taping his nose up as well, like he's a Phantom of the Opera.
You can also tell just from like this shot. Like, he's a aspiring writer, most likely in L.A., just from the window exterior shot, it's like the Hollywood, that town, it's just weird. And yeah, I love his visceral reaction. Like, this is a great way to get like your early exposition in the
it goes. It shows exactly that there's something up with this guy as well. He's got a right chip on his shoulder, and
he's like talking to himself, but he's talking to us, and he's getting us all the information, that we need to know. She stole my book and put her name on it.
Sure don't tell. It sure don't tell. That's why. Yeah, this is what. This is what fucking Mission Impossible Final Reckoning should have been doing. Sure don't tell. Don't dump a bunch of exposition on us for like an hour. It blows everything up.
Well, it is tell, don't show, but we're showing also just like his visceral, how pissed off he is at her. So you could tell he's like, this is probably the core of why he's got the writer's block, getting done over by his ex-wife. And I assume
it doesn't sound like exposition though. When he is sprouting exposition, but it doesn't sound like exposition. Exactly. It sounds like something someone would say in real life if they was in that situation.
Yeah, you bitch! I hate you. You stole my book. Like, this is like,
no, that's a natural line. That's a natural line. Real people would say that, and that's good. That is good writing. And then you got his friend here as well, who's kind of who's okay with him. He knows he's a good guy, but he knows he's got his troubles as well, and he is sort of like being smart. Listen, just try and write another one.
Yeah, I also love how they got this relationship, kind of like the two neighbors in Office Space. Like, he's just like, they're like they basically have like one big apartment. It's like 2 apartments that are conjoined that they just constantly like just walk in and out of each other's like apartments.
Yeah, no, he's always left in his fucking clothes, doesn't he? He's like, you got anything in green? He's like, you took all my greens.
Yeah. Yeah, so we get
to be... like Kramer, isn't he? He just fucking walks in and
the whole audience
just gets what just helps himself.
Yeah, the audience always applauds when he walks in, his name.
I know, yeah. And I'm Ramsey. This is like the fair shot. It's just a big close up of her going, Erin, and the camera just pans away from her. Like,
but also
she's
it's great. Like, it's also great how the neighbor like compliments how his ex-wife is like looking good, you know?
Yeah,
And he's
it
like,
sets up
no.
as well. It sets up another great line later on in the movie where,
and also we get the backstory that you've been on the night was since July. Is that the beginning? Is that at the beginning?
Yeah, something like yes, June or July, and so already you're getting information on him. His inspiring writer his book has allegedly been stolen from him. He hates his wife who is feel has betrayed him. I mean, and it's all done in the space of like less than 5 minutes.
You've been on the night was since July. I know. Takes place in the Yukon, he says.
Yeah, and also you've got this, and you've also got this object that becomes another. It just becomes another symbol for his fucking mental breakdown as well.
They also foreshadow the earrings because he says, "Look at those
earrings.
Yeah,
those earrings become very vital."
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah, when we meet Owen's story and why Owen's not happy, like stuck in mom's house, and just like that blood curdling like scream she does, like if you were it kind of reminds me of like The Exorcist when like the demons like murn.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, Anne Ramsey though, she just sells every scene though. She's because when you see her in interviews, she does actually come across as this very lovely old woman. Then you see her on screen, and she's just vile and just disgusting to watch. And she's already paranoid that Owen's writing to take her away, but really he's just writing his book, isn't he? That's all he's trying to do.
I was watching something not long ago with it was like an old movie, and Anne Ramsey was in it, and it's like she looked the same kind of, but younger. I was like, wow, that's her. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. Also, like it cuts to Owen, Danny DeVito's character, and he's getting distracted from his writing because he's also typing up a story on his typewriter, and his mom is like demanding a soda. And he's gonna get her a Pepsi, and that's like the funniest shit. He's like, "You were writing them to take me away, weren't you?" He's like, "No, Mama, I'm writing
Owen
it
loves
for
his
my
mama.
class." Yeah, I'm writing.
Owen loves his mama. Owen loves his. And it's like she kind of turns back into a mean little girl, doesn't it? Like, which is always probably hinting that she does have dementia. I don't think she's doing it deliberately to be mean. I think she just has really bad dementia.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the funniest shit. You're writing to take me away. It's like, no, Mama, nobody's gonna take you away.
I just love these. I know, and I love these shots as well. With they just make the lie look really imposing as well. Like it looks tempting as well. The way he shoots it, like you want to grab that lie yourself. Because
I love the close up of the soda, how it's like extra fizzy, and like the bubbles are like hitting her whiskers, her mustache. It's just like, oh God, dude. It's so crazy. And I love his sweater too. It's like a random sweater with like cows on it, and just like this very rudimentary like cow art. It's like just one of those athletic jersey sweaters, And then later when he gets distracted by cows, I don't know what his thing is with cows.
Kind of hints that he's still a bit of a man child, isn't he? Because
Owen loves his mama, like grown man.
Yeah, he does. Like he does. He still talks like a little kid, like Owen loves his mama. Owen will never hurt his mama.
Yeah, like I lived on my own for like a good 15 years and then moved back with mother to help her. But like, I feel like Owen never left.
He never did. No way did he leave. I mean, his dad is died at a young age as well. He's not had anyone show him how to be a man.
It's not like Owen's it's not like Owen's like a widower and he has like a kid or something. No, he isn't. He hasn't done any of that stuff.
No, he's a mama's boy.
But yeah, like he like has this like the first thing we see is like he has a brutal fantasy about poisoning his mother with lye. But then he snaps out of it and slaps the cup out of her hand. So you kind of realize like, this movie's kind of about like those intrusive thoughts that everyone gets, and like
it's just human nature, isn't it? We all have because we're all trying to be polite in society as well. We want to get along with everyone, but we don't. We always try to hide away the bad thoughts. That's why comedies are so important as well, because they're very good at sort of playing on the bad thoughts that kind of that kind of we are always thinking, we are always sort of like ignoring.
I mean, just this one shot. First of all, you got like the couch covered in the plastic,
Yeah.
and then you've got this like super like almost like fish eye angle lens, and just like the wallpaper and the carpet. You could tell this house looks very lived in.
I know it's
It's
very
just really
old
good.
fashioned as well. I mean, nothing's changed in the last 20 years since,
Right.
30, 40 years since they moved in there. It's,
Right.
yeah, they're comfortable with how things are,
Yeah. And yeah, he's got to go pick up all the pieces. Yeah, clumsy poop.
Yeah,
Oh
and I
man,
love and it
God.
does feel a little bit claustrophobic as well. It does feel very Hitchcockian, these shots and all, and he's
Yeah.
shooting it as if you would shoot a very dark psychological thriller, but then
Well,
you get these funny bits, don't you? And it kind of makes it kind of
a few years later, Barry Sonnenfeld went to do he was DP for Misery for Rob Reiner, who's also in this movie. But yeah, a lot of the same like camera angles and stuff like that are used in Misery. This movie just feels kind of like like if you had just changed the script a little, like this could have been a really hardcore suspense thriller horror movie. Just with like a few little twists here and there. But the way it's shot and the way the music is, it's definitely
yeah.
it's
They do shoot it like it's a real dark thriller, but that's why it makes it funnier as well. I mean,
yeah, because usually, we're watching these crappy comedies and like the way they're filmed, like there's a lot of like A camera, B camera. They're filmed kind of like TV shows, and there's a lot of like even lighting, like television style. There's a lot of like wide shots and flat angles. That's the way like a lot of comedies are shot, because you got to focus on the jokes, I guess. But yeah, there's like this subtle humor and just filming it so seriously. Water fountains. I feel like just drinking from a water fountain seems childish as well. I don't know why. Water fountains just aren't cool anymore. You gotta have a bottle of water. You gotta carry around like a thermos with you, like at all times.
yeah, I don't want to drink fountain water. God knows what the government have been doing in that. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then this is where we come to where he's a student in the class, and the same guy that we saw earlier who's really angry at his wife is his teacher. So we've got a good connection as well, which makes sense for later in the story, which for when the plot really starts to kick off. And you're already getting a bit more of exposition about Larry as well, because you can see his soul is just dying with every time his students stand up to read their books. It's like he can't even teach the students to write a fucking masterpiece. Never mind write one himself.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, are these students like? I don't think they're like writing. They're not made. They're not. I think this is like one of those courses you just have to take. Regardless of what your field of study is. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that are just like just there to get their credits, and they're not particularly talented writers. And that's the thing. Is like being a storyteller isn't not everyone can do it. But also, yeah, it's just interesting because like I heard that Danny DeVito was going to try to play Larry. He was going to play the teacher, which would have changed the movie considerably. If you had like, I don't know, they were also talking about having like Robin Williams playing Owen, and I think Tom Hanks was also considered for Larry.
Yeah, I could sort of see him playing Larry back then as well. It would be very different, but
It just
Larry
depends
is
on who
kind of the
Owen
straight man,
is.
though, isn't he? Larry's kind of the straight man.
Well,
in a
Danny
way.
DeVito could have played. In fact, he would have looked more like a struggling writer, college teacher. Danny DeVito. But like, it's all about who plays Owen. Then, if Danny DeVito is Larry, you couldn't have Billy Crystal play Larry. That would be weird. No, sorry, Billy Crystal play Owen. You know what I mean? You couldn't just swap the two of them. Yeah, maybe Robin Williams if Danny DeVito was Larry.
Yeah, I can see that. I can sort of see that because yeah, I
Um,
think he would have been a pretty good Larry as well because he's funny. He's good at playing the darker characters, and he can
well,
be the straight man when he needs to.
I think he was. he agreed to take the I don't know why. I guess he wanted to play the main character because he gets to make out with some hot blonde or whatever. It's like the actress is the same, acting all over Danny
Yeah,
DeVito.
Kim
That'd be
Rice.
weird.
Yeah, she was
That'd be
hot back in
weird.
the day, man.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, what's interesting? Yeah, he in order to this was his first movie he got to direct. So he said, I'll play Owen. I guess the studio wanted him to play Owen. Like you'd be better as this. They're probably saying the same thing. Like we don't really want to see you like getting it on. Like we don't want to see you because
that's
because that is a common theme for this movie is not only Billy Crystal's writer's block, but his cock block. He seems to be like unable to like perform to his full extent with his girlfriend because of his ex-wife.
And again, it's a kids train as well. So who knows? Maybe there was I think that probably might have been the best reason not to have sex because you get kids sitting down in fucking jizz the next morning.
But like no, like even then, like he seems like hesitant. It seems like they haven't been like too physical, or as physical.
Oh yeah,
as,
he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Because I mean, look, you can really tell that they're having problems, and she is almost this close to just getting rid of him, just being through with him.
Yeah,
but I do love these students, though. They crack me up as well. They only get such a small amount of screen time, but they just own every moment as well. You get exactly who these characters are straight away. I mean, you got the really dramatic woman as well. She comes across.
She's my favorite.
High class, doesn't she? But
her story's so hilarious because and
yes, Dave.
We got those bastards. Yeah. We foiled them again, said Dave. Yes.
And the similes as well. What was it? It's guts ooze like nice molten or some at the land, and she's like too harsh.
Yeah, molten or whatever, some fucking old people shit. But yeah, he's like, hey, here's a little critique. If you're going to be writing about, say, a submarine, it's good to know how the utensils work and the instruments and everything. Instruments. But yeah, research. You got to research your stuff.
Yeah, you got to know how the knives and forks work in the machinery, don't you? So yeah.
And I love how when they what's it? The other guy, the pervert.
He's
I want
to pork.
Oh, but also right here
from played by Pap Smear from The Naked Gun.
Oh yeah. But also, David Danny DeVito wants to get his story read, so he like takes his book from the bottom of the pile and puts it on top, and Billy Crystal like intentionally like looks at it and puts it down, and then pulls up 100 women I want to pork. 100 girls I'd like to pork.
He does give a bit of exposition between the relationship between these two because he's been dealing with this guy for a while, and every time he's probably passed him a story, he's thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing in my classroom? He's like,
yeah, but also you're Danny DeVito, and you're like, I want someone to tell me what they think of my story, and it's like they won't even like acknowledge you. That's like, ouch.
I know, because he kind of gets obsessed as well, doesn't he? He's sort of like, he really lets it bother him to the point that he's actually stalking his teacher.
But then, like, look at Mr. Plinsky. 100 girls I'd like to pork, which was obviously ADR.
I know, and he looks so classy as well. It's like
he's wearing an ascot. He's a 50-year-old man wearing an ascot at community college writing class. Meanwhile, the guy next to him is just some like, I don't know, like highway guy, construction worker.
Yeah. Who the hell's this cracker?
I love how they're sitting so close, him and his writing partner. They're like elbow to elbow.
He says it like he doesn't feel like he's doing anything wrong. It's like he's like, what? I just wrote a book about women I want to have sex with.
But he doesn't even write about them. He just he seems to just list them. Like I don't understand if it was like 100 women I'd like to pork, and it was like 100 chapters. Chapter 1, whoever, Dolly Parton, and then you just talk about Dolly Parton, like American Psycho. You just talk about Dolly Parton and other Dolly Parton related things for like an hour, or why, for like a good chapter.
Yeah, and I just love her outburst as well. I think it's balanced. You got the other actor there as well, who we've seen in other films. I forgot his name. He's in The Truman Show, but he's really young here, and it's like, I think it's very brave, and it's like, I think it's vulgar. They said the same about Twain, and
wait, is that him from Truman Show? No way.
Yeah, his friend. I don't think I got the shot of him as well because I kind of.
No, that ain't him. No way. That's
crazy. Him right there. He's a little younger there, but it's him.
I like when he says, he's like, I think it's brave. And what does he say to that old lady?
I think it's vulgar. I think you're vulgar. I think you're a no-talent little shit.
There you go.
Her delivery is brilliant. Her delivery is so good.
She's great, though, because, like, you could tell, like, you know, she's not the best writer at all, and she's really bad at receiving criticism, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of insecurities as well with these as well. You got the guy who wants wants to sell a book about women he wants to shag, and he does it. And like you said, he does it. He says it in such a classy way, though. He never comes across sleazy when he said it.
It's a coffee table book.
I know it's a coffee table book. It's like what?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like this guy's trying to just get his fantasies like greenlit. Stamped okay, you know.
Yeah,
like Billy Crystal says, like this isn't literature, you know. You're just listing. This is a list, you know. This is a fucking BuzzFeed article.
I know, and he tries to add some credibility to it as well by saying, "Yes, but I will start to get some like illustrations, you know, all that stuff." And this guy as well. We get to hear his story a little bit, and I don't know. He kind of comes across very endearing in his own way. It's like. But there is
Danny DeVito's obsession with sweets too. You know, like when we first see him, he's eating like some kind of like jellied toast or jellied bread, and then he like when he gets upset because he's not getting his story read that day, he pulls out a pack of M&Ms or something and starts eating those. And then he runs into his teacher like it's raining again, and he's gonna go. I guess go kill him with a.
I know they really do make it look like they're about to kill him as well. He gets you get the really intense Hitchcockian shot of him holding the tie, looking like he's going to strangle him because he didn't read his book. But then it just backs off, and it really was a very innocent encounter. But at the same time, he's obviously just stalking him as well because he's so anxious to get some praise for his writing.
Yeah, why aren't you reading my story? And it's like it's dumping rain, and he says, what does he say? It's like, I got you your tie because I was afraid it was going to be ruined. There's also a really great shot before they go outside where Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito walk out the side door, and the camera pulls back really fast through like the other exit, which the doors are wide open for some reason, and the camera just goes out there and then goes around the side of the building, and then we watch them come to the corner, and he's basically just like explaining why he didn't read his story.
And he explains, and it's just no wonder he bloody neglected your book. It was just one guy killing another guy. It was 2 pages, and the guy in the hat did the other guy in the hat. It's like.
It's a murder mystery. There's 3 characters, no, there's 2 characters. It's a murder mystery, right? Exactly. So how does that work? But like this is exactly what I would have totally I would have read that book in front of that story in front of the class, because A, it takes no time at all to read, and B, it's like what not to do, like
I know because, and the thing is that it does show that. We do get hints. It does show that he does know. He does kind of have an idea of what good writing is as well, and he's not just another hack who wants to be a writer, Larry. Because we see him later as well on the train with Anne Ramsey and Danny DeVito, and you can really see the passion in him as well when he talks about A Tale of Two Cities, and you need that as well, because if he was just another guy, a lame wannabe writer that was teaching, it would kind of take the credibility away from him as well. But you need that as well. You need that passion.
Yeah, and this is where we get like the second. First, he's trying to call Beth; she's not answering, and then he's like coming to terms with, or no, I guess he's like still arguing about his ex-wife or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it just clouds his mind. Everything is like he just can't get her out of his head. He just can't resist, and there's like the night was as shiny earrings on my wife's ear. Oh my god, I'm losing it.
Yeah, he's like doing The Night Was again, and he finally, like, after like yelling at himself all night, he finally sets on The Night Was Humid. Fine. And he's like trying to understand why The Night Was Humid is stupid and it doesn't make any sense. And The Night Was Hot was better. No. First of all, don't ever start. It's like a rule. Like, don't ever start with weather.
Yeah, Elmo Leonard actually described that in one of his 10 rules of writing. Never start your book describing the weather.
Yeah, it's just, so, I mean, I don't think, like, I guess Billy Crystal must be a decent writer if his wife actually did steal his book and it became a bestseller.
Yeah, so
But
I think because it's never totally answered, and I'm glad it isn't. I mean, I did assume she did steal it when I first saw this, but as I get older now, I'm starting to realize, okay, there is probably something that
but
says that
I don't think she
they
stole.
both have had an idea, and she did something with it, and he feels like
Right.
she might have ripped him off. It was kind of
Right.
like Kevin McClory with Ian Fleming all over again for Thunderball.
I don't think she like literally like took his script, his book, and put her name on it. I think she stole maybe his idea, or maybe she feels entitled because they came up with the idea together. You know, who fucking knows? She says
So
it's based on
this,
her life, so therefore it's based on their life because they were living together. You know, who? Like I said, it's easy to paint his wife in this like horrific light, but like, yeah, it's like you don't know. You know, maybe she did write it. You know, maybe she just stole the title or stole the basic premise. Because that's the thing is like I'm under the impression that Billy Crystal actually isn't that great of a writer. Who knows? Especially with the end, you know. And I think that's the other thing is best-selling lists don't mean shit. The bestseller list. The bestseller list is
yeah, because he
basically
gets a little criticism, don't he? Where they mention one line that he says at the end of his in his book at the end.
yeah, exactly.
So
And
yeah,
bestseller lists are they're basically like paid advertisements, you know, from like they don't literally take the best-selling books and put them in a list. These are the books that they want to be the best-selling books. And Oprah's Book of the Month Club is the same thing. It's just like, hey, here's a book that like our like, you know, our company, the company that owns the show, also owns a couple publishing companies, and here are a couple of their new products for sale. So go buy these books. But yeah, the night was humid. And then so
then we get another second instance of Owen who's still kind of like thinking about killing his mum because yeah, obviously he's frustrated with her as well. She's slapping him a lot. She's fucking bad mouthing him, saying, "You're not gonna be nothing. You're never gonna get to second base."
He's writing again, and she goes right up to him and just like slams her hands on the keyboard, you know, on the keys, on the types, and you know, probably messes up that page.
It's building up the boiling point to him, isn't it?
Pulls out the whatever the pump thing is for your ears to clean out her ears. You know, like stop what you're doing and clean out my ears. You know, that's just like fucking hardcore. And yeah, those are like
that's a pretty good image as well. It's very intense, but even if it is done in a very comical way.
Here's the thing: I do not know why on earth you would have those huge, gigantic, deadly scissors in your bathroom. Like, what are you doing with those scissors in the bathroom? Bathroom scissors should be like little ones, you know, whisker trimmers and little. You shouldn't have gigantic like fucking shears. Those are like fabric scissors or something. I don't know what the hell those are for, but those are.
You mentioned it. I do kind of feel like maybe he left it there by accident because he's busy looking after his mom while also trying to write, and so he hasn't always had time to take care of the little things. You know,
those are like the biggest, scariest scissors I've ever seen.
I know, but it is if they used the little tiny scissors, it would look nowhere near as intense as that image of.
But like I said, he has this fantasy of like putting those scissors through his mom's head, but then like it cuts to like, you know, his mom's all happy. She's like, I think you got it, Sonny, and she's like,
I know it's one of the few times where she's really lovely to him.
Yeah, because you fixed her ears or whatever.
And I think it does sort of like help establish that, you know, he still loves his mum, which then leads him to try and stop Larry from killing her on the train.
But then you get that shot of like him like hugging his mom, and he's all freaked out, traumatized about these thoughts he's having. He's holding the scissors.
Yeah, like he looks like he's a little ashamed as well.
It's like it's waiting to go off.
Yeah, and he's still writing his book as well, saying that the man with the head was mortally wounded.
But he's like writing, you know, like a child, like in a little blanket fort, you know, with a flashlight. He's a 40-year-old man. You know, he's 42.
Yeah, but he's kind of got the innocence of a 6-year-old in a way. He's never grown up.
Yeah, like,
but this is where we are seeing just how.
Is Owen like maybe like some kind of like, is he a little special needs maybe?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not even trying to be funny. Like
He probably is a little bit, but not. I don't think he's totally fucking simple, but he is definitely. He does come across more naive, naive.
Totally.
But this is where we do start to see that his obsession is really affecting his relationship because he's got, and yeah, so he's been divorced from his wife for a long time, and he's just hooked up with this really smoking hot blonde chick as well, played by Kim Greist, who was like a proper stunner in the 80s, and he's just blowing it as well. I mean, his the betrayal he thinks has been inflicted on him is just consuming him.
Yeah, and also, this is the part where he he basically in front of a huge cafeteria, outdoor cafeteria full of witnesses, exclaims like, "I wish she were dead. My ex-wife, I fucking hate her. I hate her. I want her dead."
And once again, a good setup for a payoff later, where which sort of adds more to why people would think that he will be responsible for his wife's death. But we do see a little hint of charm with him as well. Like he does manage to sort of reel her back in a little bit, so she gives him a second chance. So he's not totally a lost cause. There is a good quality to him there, which shows he is still a very likable guy when he needs to be. He's just got this bad obsession. And yeah, obviously, coffee table book guy as well is asking her name.
What's her name? How do you spell it? No.
Yeah, don't you even think about it.
Don't even think about it.
But once again,
I also love how the whole class like sits together and eats together. Like that's very like camaraderie. Like let's all talk about our stories together. It's like, no, I wouldn't want to do that at lunch. Just like go eat. You have to sit together with your whole class. What is this, a field trip? But yeah, they all do. Even though they're a bunch of old people. Older people, it still feels like a class of kids, and these two are the adults. It's just weird.
And he does sort of blow it as well because she's like, right, I did not sit here to be backed at you, and that's when he has this outburst as well. It's like, yeah, damn man, he's got some problems. He really has. I mean, she has destroyed him.
That guy was like, the old guy was like shocked when he said that, like, I wish you were dead. And he literally does like a little jump, like, oh my goodness. And then Danny DeVito, he gets this,
that look on his face. Yeah, something's going to happen here now.
You want someone dead as well. Interesting.
I know. I mean, it's already sparking something in there as well, but it's not till he sees Strangers on the Train where the idea really hits home. It's like, it's planted there. It just hasn't blossomed just yet. And
then we find out that the old guy is actually a good writer. He's probably the best writer in the whole movie.
Yeah, I know. He's like, I know. He's a sweet old man. He's a sweet old man. He's very endearing. He's only got this one line, and he's very endearing.
Yeah, he's like very good, Phil. 40 years of Naugaheim. What am I going to say? Naugahyde. What am I going to say?
Something like that. Yeah, definitely knock out the upholstery industry.
Well, I feel like his book is, it's like it doesn't matter what it is. The guy had a career in upholstery or a career as a tailor, but the point is he's an old man who has life experience, and he probably did write a decent story that like it's not really about upholstery. It's about upholstery. It's about a guy who works in upholstery, but what is it really about? It's probably about
and Larry isn't really seeing the subtext. I'm guessing if that's the right word to use.
Yeah, but like point is like Billy Crystal, he's not a total loser. Like where like all of his class suck at writing. Like I feel like
it shows he is getting through to him in a way. Maybe he is helping them. It's like even though he feels like he's lost his passion for helping his students in some way.
Maybe he didn't help the student. Maybe that old guy is just literally a better writer than him, and that's more
probably,
that's more like fuel for the writer's block that he suffers from. This what's the word, like imposter syndrome he's probably having. He's not really a writer. He's a fraud. So now Yeah, he's finally gonna
Yeah, it
read.
was.
He's gonna read my the murder at my friend Eddie's house, or murder at
Yeah.
my friend
I
Harry's.
actually don't like that title. I know it sounds a bit rudimentary, but it sounds like
Yeah,
a pretty good
it's
title.
just like this title, "Throw Mama from the Train."
Yeah.
This title also apparently got in trouble because it's based off of a country song, "Throw Mama from the Train Some Kisses," and the guy who wrote the song, I think he did sue this movie, and they settled out of court or something. You're not, but I think technically that's allowed. You're allowed to take like a fragment of a song and use it as a title. I don't know. It just
I
seems
don't know.
weird. But
But I
yeah,
do
throw
like this
Mama
scene
from the
as well, where
train.
where he reads the book as well, and he's like, "The night was humid," and
Right.
and he thinks he's got something there, and he's like, "Class dismissed. I have a headache in my eyeball."
Well, yeah, exactly. Like he is him and Owen have this little exchange like, "Oh, this is murder for my friend Harry's from by Owen Lift." And he gives him this little wink like, "Hey, I'm going to read your story." And then, he struggled all night to come up with "The night was humid." And then this terrible writer he knows from one of his students has the same exact opening line, and he just like loses it. Like, oh my god, like, yeah, the imposter syndrome, he like runs home to change his opening because he can't be compared. uh uh he
I
can't
know,
be
it's like
compared to that.
he has it, and then it's just gone. It's just gone.
Yeah, I have to leave. I have an enormous headache in my eye.
I know.
And then he changes it
It's the delivery
he
as well.
cha-
It's so
and then he
demented.
goes back and tries to change it to like "the night was moist." And he's
Yeah,
just like, no, that's not good. Yeah, Lord Toxic says, "I don't want to say too much because the cops might be listening, but I killed your wife. Gotta go."
yeah.
Yeah, dude, there's so many good lines.
Yeah, that
Um,
is such a good scene as well. Like he's just bouncing around from phone, from fucking payphone to payphone in all these random directions that are probably have a lot of distance, yet somehow he's making it there very quickly.
yeah, and then we cut out and we realized like Danny DeVito's like outside the apartment, like watching him, kind of spying on him, and then he's like,
Yeah, so he's obviously not got he's obviously not got he hasn't really learned boundaries, has he? Because he's still a kid in his head.
yeah,
He's not really creepy. He's just a very simple guy who doesn't know what he's doing.
yeah, like I said, maybe he's retarded. Like, I'm not even joking. But yeah, like he drives off, and this is your first
Yeah,
train
true. And we see a
foreshadowing.
lot of them. We see a lot of them later on, don't we? And it's
There's like 4 or 5 big
yeah,
illusions that a train is coming.
yeah.
Um,
And both of them are used in the context of Kim Grice getting horny with Billy Crystal.
oh yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's also Owen plays with a train set at one point towards the right before the train
yeah,
scene. And then there's and also the movie Strangers on a Train. Exactly.
yeah. And this is where he's got not just the block with the writer's block. He's got the cock block as well. The
Yeah,
mental impotence. It's
he's he feels like less of a man. He feels like he can't. I don't know. He needs to get that whole side, that whole history of his life behind him. With his
yeah.
ex-wife and his.
But we
And
are
the only
still
way he
seeing
could do
hints of
that, the
yeah,
only
and we
way
are
he can
still
move on is if he comes up with another great story.
exactly.
Until he does that, he's going to be living in the shadow of his ex-wife who allegedly stole his book, maybe or maybe not.
I know, but I think these scenes with Kim Christ are really important as well because it still shows that there is something there that she likes about him, and it's still there. He just needs to sort of get over his
Yeah, there is a light at
bitterness.
the end of the tunnel. Like, it's not like his life is going nowhere. Like, he has things to look forward to, things to work for, goals to set. All he has to do is just get over his own shit.
Yeah,
She's like the
that's
carrot.
what makes
She's
it
the
so
carrot.
layered.
Yeah,
That's
she's
what
like the
makes it
carrot at the
so
end of the
layered.
stick. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, his kind of obsession has gotten a little bit more extreme because now he's showing up when they're about to get on a bloody kids train. It's so he is
I also
finally
love how
saying to him,
he's like eating peanuts or popcorn or something.
"No."
But yeah, that was just a weird reveal when he's like watching them from like a few cars back. And again, like I
And I,
said, it could have
and
been
I
a
love
horror
it. I love
movie.
how he just asks him, "Did you like my book?" It's like, "No." So he fucks off, and then rings him while he's asleep later in the night. It's like, "What didn't you
What?
like about it?" And then
Yeah,
this is where he does start to take the time to
I
sort of
assume
tell
this is
him
the
and be
same
honest with
night.
it.
It's like the same night. Like so it's like probably 2 or 3 in the morning. I'll go meet you at a grocery store. Very weird designed grocery store. I like it. I like this inside of the store.
Yeah, it looks very isolated and tranquil in some weird way. I don't know why, but it is. This is the scene where they do finally sort of like have a connection towards each other because then this is where Owen tells him that he's sort of been thinking about killing his mother as well, and and they do sort of bond for once.
Yeah, well, they don't really bond as much as like Billy Crystal's like, holy shit, okay, something we have in common, But he's like, this is where he makes the fatal error of explaining to Owen about motives.
He bonds with him, and it comes back on him as well.
All you have to do is eliminate the motive. If like I can't kill my wife because everyone knows I hate her and I have a motive, And he's like, you got to think of Alfred Hitchcock, And it's just like you're telling him like, because like I said, he is probably borderline retarded. So you're telling him this stuff and, or like autistic, to where he doesn't, jokes go over his head and stuff. He doesn't understand your plan.
I think he could be. I think maybe he could be more autistic than retarded because it's kind of different. I mean, some are very severe as well to a point where they can be retarded. Others are, just a bit socially awkward, but they can be brilliant as well in their own way, depending on what it is. But it is good as well. It's where Billy Crystal does kind of sort of like cut the bullshit with him and just try and be flat out honest with him and try and help him a little bit. But like I said, it goes it fucking gets spat back in his face because Owen, being the fucking genius he is, takes it the wrong way when he goes to see strangers in the train.
Also, like, is Owen? I don't know how old Billy Crystal is, but it'd be easy to assume that he's in his 30s.
Yeah, he was obviously in his 30s when he did this.
You've got this strange older man in his 40s, and you're like talking to him like a kid, like giving him pointers on how to be you're like mentoring this older man, That's strange,
Yeah, I never noticed that though. For some reason, I never noticed that. I never noticed that Danny DeVito is older than his teacher. Yeah, it's I just kind of see this simple guy just being given advice, which later turns pretty dark.
Billy Crystal could also be in his 40s. They could be about the same age, maybe.
Yeah, probably not so far. Yeah, but God, those fucking trainers back in the 90s, though, it's like, damn.
Yeah. Exactly. Lord Toxic, we were talking about how, like, Billy Crystal, we don't even know for sure that his wife did steal his book, Like, and also I was saying, like, yeah, his wife says that being married to him was a nightmare, and I don't disbelieve her, Like, she could be telling the truth that being married to him was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, most of the characters are kind of douchebags in this a little bit. But I think that's what makes comedy great. The best comedy characters usually are douchebags in a way. They can be likable douchebags, they can be terrible douchebags, but if they have that kind of that quality that makes you sort of like relate to them a little bit, even if you don't want to, it kind of makes them better.
Like, even when he says to Danny DeVito right here, he's like, just go watch some old Hitchcock movies. And his eyes light up. He's like, you want to go to the movies with me? He's like, no.
I know.
No, I don't want to go to the movies with you. He can't even be like, maybe some other time, He has to be like, no.
But I do like this as well when he says, like, this, and you establish the motive, the alibi, also, all that stuff as well. It shows that he does still have some idea of what makes a compelling story. Like, he can't have the killer just kill him because he's crazy. It's not compelling.
Well, also, just by an amazing coincidence, they happen to be showing Strangers on a Train at the theater. Like, if they were showing any other Hitchcock movie, like The Birds or something like that, then this movie would be very different.
It would.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, I think sometimes you do need something to happen for the plot to go on, but this is when the story really kicks off, though. This is when the plot actually kicks in. You've had the build up, you've got to know the characters, you've got them establishing the connection, which will lead into the plot. And I just love this. I just love this shot as well, where it just cuts back to the film and the lines, and it kind of repeats the lines as well because. Yeah, the idea is just forming in his head, and it's.
This is also like this is like the 25-minute, 30-minute mark. So this is like this is where the audience is realizing what this movie is actually about. Like, you're realizing, like, oh, they're going to try to swap murders. Okay, this is going to be interesting, and then you realize, like, only one guy has the idea, and he doesn't tell the other guy.
I know. I've not seen Strangers on the Train, but I'm guessing the characters are a little bit more clever than these. But which makes it funny as well, because put some dumbasses in a situation where they have to be smart. Comedy gold.
Yeah, here's your second train thing, and she's
Yeah,
getting all. I
second
don't know.
sex train thing with these, so it's like,
why are they reading a children's train
I
book?
know, it's weird. It's weird.
And
It's
why
like,
are they
what
getting
the hell?
horny? Like, is that her book? Is it hit? Like, whose book is it? Like, what is the book exactly?
I know. Is it like, is she? I kind of almost got the idea that she was writing a children's book. I don't know where it came from, but I just assumed from this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
So
then
here
this
we
is where he
go.
rings him up saying, "Listen, I think I know what you're trying to tell me."
Crisscross.
Crisscross.
and of course, Billy Crystal's finally like trying to be sexual with his girlfriend, and he's like, "Yeah, that's great, Owen. Goodbye." And then we do this great like Hawaiian shirt
he's like,
to
"Who you
Hawaii.
talking to?" I'm talking to the weatherman. He's like, "You're talking to a machine." And
yeah, because back in those days, kids, you would call a little 1-800 number, like a toll free number, and it would just be an automated person saying the time is 2:05 p.m.
yeah,
The
which
weather
further
is.
establishes that he's got the mind of a kid as well. So
I love this montage of how how they show he's flying to Hawaii. They cut the Hawaiian shirts on the door. It zooms in on the Hawaiian shirt, and then we just superimpose a plane flying over the shirt, and then of course camera down, overcast day, and we get Rob Reiner playing Billy Crystal's agent, and we're at Rob Reiner's apartment. And yeah, he's like you said earlier, he's explaining like, you're trying to be an artist, whereas like, what we do is we manage writers, people who write things and actually turn out stories.
But it does establish as well that just how much worse the situation with his wife is getting to Billy, because now she's a client now. She's a client, and it's like a big twist of the knife. Not only has she open quotes stolen his book, close quotes, she's taken his agent now, and he's not got an agent no more. He's got nobody to
well, he says
help him.
he says this may be a bit disturbing, but we've signed your wife as a client, And I love how he does warn him like, hey, you're not going to want to hear this, but like, not only are we dropping you because I've been your agent for 7 years and you haven't written anything. And he's like, and I keep giving you like extension and assignments.
That's an agent's job. If you can't get any gigs, to help him pay, then then there's no point.
But don't you pay your agent regardless?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
like your agent is on like you're paying them to do stuff for you. Like,
I thought it was just commission. No, I thought it was commission. I do not know about this stuff, so I can't really say.
I don't know either. Well, if it is commission, then that's why they drop you, because hey, you're not making me any money, and I'm wasting time.
And he's not being totally ruthless with him as well. He's like saying, "Listen, go to Mexico, write your heart out. Just write something, please." He is trying to still be supportive towards him, but right now he's just being a businessman. That's it.
See, yeah, maybe it'd be better if agents got paid like retainer. Because then it's like, hey, if you want to be an aspiring writer and suck and, not write anything, whatever. I just get free money, so do it forever.
Yeah, and this is where he's alone now. He's like just trying to find the line, but he's like, he's in despair. He's depressed now. He's lost everything.
But what's even more important is he's isolated himself in the middle of nowhere on the beach. The night
I know, and it's kind of ups the stakes as well for him.
Sunset Cab.
Because he doesn't have an alibi, does he? Yeah, from Taxi.
Right.
The little reference.
Yeah, but so he's like he's now in Hawaii about to commit this murder, but he hasn't. Yeah. He thinks he's told Billy Crystal, like, I get it, crisscross. That's all he said to him. He hasn't said, hey, I'm going to be in Hawaii tomorrow to do that thing you told me to take care of. You should probably.
And then you get the shot with the earrings as well, and it really does build up like he's gonna kill her, but then it just sort of like backs out as well, because fucking Toy Boy comes in, and starts going rough with her, and he pretty much has to read a magazine while they're doing it on the sofa, just waiting for an opportunity.
She's doing everything Billy Crystal wants to be doing. Like, she's living in a tropical paradise. She's like getting she's having sex with a sexy man. She's getting calls from like agents. She has like copies of her book like right there on the end table. She's busy, you know, she's doing the thing. She's living the life, you know. She's wearing like a silk robe, you know, wearing diamond earrings in her fucking bedroom for no reason. Um, yeah, I mean, it's like you want to hate her, but you realize like, you know, she's just doing the thing, you know. But yeah, Danny DeVito just kind of chickens out and hides there, and then like goes and makes himself a fucking sandwich.
Yeah,
It's like
I know. It's like, yeah, they're going to be for a while. I'm going like this. I can't kill her when she's doing this. It's put me off my stride. I'll just have a sandwich and try and
well,
kill her
also,
later when I
you
get a
can't
chance.
kill the guy too.
I
You
know. It's
know,
like. But I like the fact that he just walks up to and gets a sandwich as well while she's still in the house. Like, you know, what if she fucking walks outside and catches it?
That's like one of the funniest things to do in your in a house. Like you're supposed to be stealth in someone else's house, and you make like just a full blown. And it's like one of those it's like one of those classic like pool party, pool party lunch sandwiches. You know, just like white bread, lettuce, tomatoes, mayonnaise, ham and cheese, all cold. Just like the perfect sandwich to eat right after you got out of the Y pool, you know, whatever. But yeah,
And they start stalking her on this boat as well, and she obviously is put off by him. He's like, "This is my first time in Hawaii," and she's like, "I'm not sitting next to this fucking guy."
well, a big question is he sees her leave, right? And he told that cab driver to wait for him because he's gonna go visit his aunt or whatever. I'm gonna go visit my aunt, and I assume the cab driver's still waiting out there. But like, would it I'm the lady leaves, and there's a fucking cab sitting in your driveway, and she doesn't think anything of that, I guess. And then he gets back in the cab and it's like, follow that car. I mean, I'm just nitpicking here, but you know, it just seems weird how he suddenly just goes to the dock. I guess he heard in the phone call that she's going to there. I don't know.
I'm guessing Hawaii probably has plenty of cabbies who are really willing to help you stalk and murder someone.
It is a small island, but yeah, exactly. Like, he tries to like make conversation with her on the boat, and you know, she wants nothing to do with him. And this great, he puts on the O.J. Simpson gloves.
Yeah, no, it's like what the hell, man, and
I love the slide whistle too. Like he puts his hands up, like he's put his hands like he's gonna choke her, like whoop, and then she puts her butt over because she drops one of those earrings. She loves her diamonds. She's devastated that she's about to lose one of her diamonds, and she foolishly leans over and he does the slide whistle with his hands.
Well. This great cut with a woman scream, laughing as well.
Yeah. And yeah, it's implied that he pushed her off into the water, and then Billy Crystal wakes up drunk that night,
and he's asking advice from the fishes to get the land because he's willing to get any kind of help, any inspiration whatsoever, even if it's drunk on the beach.
Dude. Yeah, in his car,
I know, but that's the thing. He's got no alibi as well to say he was at home.
Exactly. It's like the big
I know,
problem.
so now it has kind of upped the danger for him as well, and it gives more of a reason for people to suspect him, even though it wasn't him that did the deed, if I use the term loosely.
And this is a great shot too, this dream where like the camera pans over and Owen's not in his chair, and then the camera goes right, and now he's just in bed, you know, the same set. Yeah, it's great.
I know, and it's like, listen, I did it as well. I can't say too much on the phone, all right? I need to jump around, and he's just going through all these like locations. It's what the hell?
All these bizarre payphones too, like the giant shell payphone.
I know it looks like he's covering it does look like he's covering a lot of distance, yet somehow he's still managing to ring him like a few seconds after putting the phone down, and he's just telling him in bits. And
it's also Billy Crystal's like in some kind of feverish like hangover, so we're like a few seconds go by, and if it's actually been several minutes. Your wife.
Like, what do you mean? Did you kill her? It's like, yeah, she didn't. She didn't suffer or anything. And he's like, shit.
He tells her,
bastard, did he?
No,
he can't have done it.
He tells him, she had a little trouble walking, but that was from the gardener.
Yeah,
and she was kind of a tart, Larry. But I understood why you married her. She's very beautiful. Also, it is Captain Janeway from Voyager. You know.
Yeah, and I think this was before as well, wasn't it?
No, totally. Yeah. I love when he's next to the horse.
Oh yeah, and that's a publicist. Oh, okay then. Yeah, yeah, she had it fucking going on back in the day, though, man. She's yeah, she was very attractive back then.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's obviously trying to ring her as well, saying she can't be answering the phone because she's dead.
Right. He's starting to freak out because like he thinks like, yeah, his man's jumping to the right conclusion. Like, holy shit. And then he goes right in. He Kramers into his neighbor's house.
Yeah, no, and
And
it's like
she's
they're saying, I can't have done it as well because I had to go all the way from Hawaii, so I can't have just gone from
it's
the
very
office to
strange
that.
how oh, okay, I see what's going on. They're sleeping on a pull-out bed. Okay, because it's weird how you're walking into the front door and there's just like a fucking bed right in front of
Yeah.
you. So yeah, they're having sex on a pull-out bed, I guess. But like, this is where he gets this awesome like, hey, it's fine. Like, there's no way I could have gone to
Yeah.
Hawaii and back. And then I guess
And then
she's like a
Trudy
flight
from bloody
attendant.
Miami Vice starts saying, "Yeah, but if you
You
cover this
could
kind of
because there's a
distance at this time, you can
5-hour
make it back."
yeah, there's a
Yeah,
5-hour time difference. So if you go over there and come back, like you technically have a couple hours to spare. And it's
and
like,
then it's
oh
like,
shit.
whatever you did, man, you're fucking
You're
guilty. It's
fucking
like,
guilty, bro. But you have to understand, like, he's like coming in, talking about motives and alibis and shit. And oh, it's bad.
and then he's just rambling as well. And then he gets the news about his wife disappeared, and he's like, he can't be dead.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
like,
driving.
"That's
He's
slaps."
driving. He's like, no, it's
his
fine.
outburst just comes out again.
Yeah. He's driving like, he's like, it's fine. He didn't do it. And then I get on the radio. It's like, famous publicist Arthur has been missing in Hawaii. And he's like, no.
That's
And then he
slut.
talks about how like she wrote the great best-selling novel White Hot. And she's like, you fucking slut. I hate you. I hate you. He's driving.
Yeah, Kim
He's
Christ is
losing it.
she's got this weird Australian dance yoga thing going on, whatever the hell it is as well. And he's like, he tells her that she's dead, and it's like, oh my god. It's like, did she
Yeah.
suffer? Apparently, he told me that she didn't suffer, and he's like, what, the doctor? No, the killer.
Well, you have to understand, Paul Simon's album Graceland came out, and that was like the birth of world music.
Oh
It came
yeah,
out
yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
why
Call me out.
Yeah, this is why you start hearing the end credit music on this movie. This is why, like, I was saying, like, a lot of movies in the late 80s and even early 90s had to like have some kind of tropical beach moment. There's just something about like either reggae playing on a beach. There's so many movies that have this like tropic, either Miami, Florida, or Caribbean, or cocktail, Weekend at Bernie's. So many of these movies had this like 80s tropical beach vibe, and I really think it's like part of it was like this like resurgence of reggae music and world music and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yes, and well, obviously he's telling her that the guy is like, what did you say? Don't kill my wife. Wink, wink. And she starts feeling very nauseous. It's like, oh yeah, you feel nauseous. It's like, because women are always making it about themselves, isn't it?
She's very self-centered. I was gonna say,
yeah.
It's very, oh, okay. You're just gonna gloss over the fact that you might have killed your husband, your ex-wife. That's great. Like,
I know, it's like
the guy's coming to you with like a genuine problem and he's worried, and you're like mad at him about it and throwing it in his face.
Yeah, she's a terrible woman, but she does ring him later and try and get him to come back as well and try and see if they can sort this out. Try and
the first thing you should do is go straight to the police.
Yeah.
You should be
he almost does as well, doesn't he? Because he tries to take Owen to the police straight away. Obviously, yeah, they've listened to the call that she's ringing him on.
Yeah, this makes it look so bad. If he had pulled over into his apartment, because the cops were there waiting for him, if he had not even left, but like B, like he should have gone. Like, yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're innocent and you don't even like the guy, he's just some weirdo in your class. Like, you could go to the cops and be like, hey, I have a situation. I hate my wife, and the student of mine knows that, and I think he went to Hawaii to go fucking murder her. You can't get in trouble for that. That's not.
I know, because they do need evidence that he killed her still, don't they? They do
that's
still
the
need
worst,
that
though,
evidence.
is like, yeah, later he does find a plane ticket, and it's in his name, which means Owen is like so terrible. Even if he had agreed to it, I'm going to, we're going to swap murders. Owen and Larry, like even if there was like a mutual agreement, like Owen would still fuck it up by like getting the plane ticket in Larry's name. Like, why did you do that, you dumbass?
Yes, but he almost does take him to the police as well, but then they end up getting to this bloody car accident as well, where just somehow would they go on this little tangent as well, saying, "Remember that guy from this town or whatever?" And then they fall into this this hill where they're getting hit by trees, and he's like, "Oh, this is awesome! This is like the Flintstones car wash."
I heard that Danny DeVito almost played Fred Flintstone, but I love right before
I heard that as well. I don't know if he would have been.
I love the part right before that where he's like saying, oh God, this famous tunnel. It's in so many movies. It's in Back to the Future, this, and Roger Rabbit, which all came out in like 3 years apart from each other. But I love when Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal in the car, and he's like, you killed my ex-wife, and he's like, you're right. I don't know how I could have done that. I don't know why I did that. And he's like, oh, cows. He gets like distracted by a billboard with fucking cows on it, kind of illustrating that he is in fact like retarded. There's something wrong.
It's like, could he be a retarded sociopath? I don't know. It's like weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got to give credit to his friend as well, because he does stick by him as well. Listen, he does not have it in him to kill. All right, he can't just kill that. But obviously, he's just another two-dimensional cop who's there to investigate. He's not really a fully fleshed character, but it's just he's just there to sort of add more tension, doesn't he?
Is he being like interrogated at his work?
Yeah, weird. I don't know.
It's a weird room they're in, but I do love that's the big line at the end. You realize, like, even his black Kramer neighbor friend kind of looks down on Billy Crystal's character because he says, like, I don't think he killed his wife. He's like, why is that? Because Larry, he never did anything, So the idea that he wanted to kill his wife and it was on his to-do list is evidence that he probably didn't do it because he never gets around to doing anything he wants to do. It's pretty hard. It's pretty deep cut.
I know, but it's kind of does give him more.
It's true.
More reason. It gives more reason for them to not suspect him, but still. But this is obviously where he's got him in the house and going to try and talk him into killing his mother. And I just love when she goes in and is like, "Oh, this is like it's my cousin Patty. He'll be staying with us for a while." And he's like, "You don't have a cousin Patty." It's like, "You lied to me," and he whacks him all over the fucking head.
You can see the
it's very rubber, isn't it?
But also, I love the look he gives his mom right before that. He kind of gives him this look like I'm gotta think quickly, and then he looks at him, he's like, "You lied to me." like there's this like really great moment.
It's just like he gets nervous, so he gets nervous. He whacks people over the head with a frying pan. And once again, he is trying to talk him into, and he's like, "Listen, I'm not going to kill your wife. The fat little bastard can't even kill his own mother, yet he can kill my wife."
Here, let me share my screen real quick here with
no
audio.
Okay, let me get it up.
This look that he gives his mom when he's
let me stop the screen. I think I have to stop the screen and then get up.
You don't have a cousin Patty, and this is like the look of him, like, I'm in trouble. Like, oh, she's on to me. Like his face is so good. Yeah. Oh my god.
It's on for free as well on YouTube. It's just separated into little parts, but
it's free with ads. No, it's also free with ads. If you're in America, I guess.
Wrong page. All right, let me share it. But this is where it does become a little bit more like just this one setting, isn't it? Where it becomes a bit of a farce as well, with him sort of trying to convince him to kill his mother, and Billy Crystal sort of like almost looking like he's going to do it, but at the same time talking himself out of it. Let's get the screen up. Wrong one. That's the film.
Yeah, that's also
I do apologize.
Billy Crystal's first encounter with Mom, and he gets hit in the head with a frying pan, but it's Danny DeVito's fault. So it's like he doesn't really, he's not really, he doesn't really like Mom as or Owen, but he's kind of like stuck in this house, kind of laying low because the cops are after him.
Yeah, and this kind of just felt a bit weird as well. Like I think they were trying to give us a bit of a breather to have them sort of bond a little bit more and humanize them a little bit more, but
no, it just makes Owen seem that much more retarded,
Yeah, no, because he's got like Because he's got coins that aren't really worth anything. It's just except for sentimental value.
This is all change my dad gave me when I was a little boy.
Yeah.
He basically, like, I guess his dad might have died when he was young, and it fucking traumatized him.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. That's the only conclusion I'm coming about his character as well, and he never really grew out of it.
Also, his mom probably, because we see how his mom babies him, and it could be like that's how she was with him when he was a kid, and she also kind of helped infantilize him, which is insane because, like, she makes fun of him now for being like a child, a man baby, but it's like it's probably her fault. It's partly because the way she raised him, like as a single mom, who knows, dude? It's all just depressing, Like I said, this isn't really a dark comedy as much as it is like really fucking kind of sad. But yeah, like exactly like Billy Crystal, he feels more closer after hearing about this change thing, this coin collection thing, because of he just kind of realizes like, yeah, this guy he's not right, there's something he is like a child, so he's it's like endearing, that he collects his dad's change, but also it's like this man is like infantilized.
Yeah, and he's trying to get me to kill his bloody mum. He may have killed my ex-wife.
Right.
But he can tell he can really see how stressed he is as well. It's like, listen, you gotta kill my mom. If you don't do it, I will do it. And then she starts calling him fat boy, and he almost comes close to doing it himself. But I think Billy Crystal does say will just to sort of like calm him down, really, because he's obviously just doing it just to sort of humor him a little bit. And he tries to bribe him with the belt buckle a little bit as well. Like it's got this like London symbol on it.
Yeah, but even in that belt scene, like he doesn't agree to it. He just kind of the music's like kind of rising in tension, and he's kind of like breathing heavily, and he's like he doesn't want to do it still. He's like, okay, whatever. I'm in this bad situation. Just like let's say Owen murders his mom while Larry's there. That's not going to look good either. That's bad. It's one of those things where, like, I think if he did, like, if the cops busted them and it was a double homicide, and I think Larry could have like argued his way out. Put the whole. But then again, like the whole point is Owen says like, I'm going to say you did it. I'll say that you killed your wife. But then, of course, spoilers, like she's not actually dead, so that would complicate the matter. But
this interrogation with Kim Grace doesn't really go anywhere except for just sort of like break up the scenes. But I do like this as well, where once again it does add a bit more tension onto Larry as well, because everyone's witnessed him having this outburst, and all it's doing is making Larry look worse.
Well, also she does kind of like show her commitment to him by kind of lying or omitting information. But she is kind of playing ball a little bit. But then, this is bad when all the fucking class
I know, it's like he said, "I hate her. I wish she was dead." It's like he called her a very bad word. Then he said, "I hate her. I wish she was dead."
It cuts to the pervert. It's a coffee table book.
Yeah, it's so good, this actor.
Still,
I love him in the Naked Gun movies. He's very funny.
I should start wearing ascots everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to a vintage shop and buy some really good paisley ones, wear it with a nice Oxford Ben Sherman shirt, a nice tweed blazer, no problem. But yeah, he's very, very dapper, isn't he? But he's also a bit of a fucking horny pervert. I love him.
I love how like the first thing that happens, it's like, all right, you're gonna go take care of mom, and he puts him out the window, and he immediately fucking almost falls out. Like this is not a movie, like it's like dude, he like immediately almost like fucking like falls to his injury. But yeah, mom is just waiting in the room.
I know, it's like,
they got rats crawling. They got rats crawling on the outside of their
house. Yeah, I know. So it's basically just him trying to kill the mum, but then not succeed. Blah blah blah. And obviously, Owen goes out to do some bowling that way. He's got an alibi. He wasn't there when Larry killed his mum, so
Yeah,
And he
basically.
goes to her, but then he backs out, doesn't he? Because he just like says, "Listen, I know your son seems like a very good guy, but he's asked me to kill you, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." And she's not even. It looks
She
like she's
sleeps.
walking up.
She
She's
sleeps with her eyes open, like
I
major
know.
pain. She's like starts snoring, and he's just
I
like,
know.
Jesus.
It's like she hasn't breathed for a long time while he's explaining what's happening.
Well, that's how sleep apnea works, Like if you watch, if you hear Sammy sleep on my show, like it's like silence, and then like, it's bad.
Yeah. So obviously he starts trying to.
So also, Danny DeVito doesn't tell him about this like string he's put on the door. Like he'll know that the deed is done because this little string will fall because the door has been open and he's left out the front door. But like, it's
so
more of this shit where he's got like this plan in his head and he's not running any of it by Billy Crystal, who's allegedly his accomplice.
Yeah, well, that's what makes it funnier because they're idiots. They're idiots.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito's obviously probably is retarded then because
and Billy Crystal's like he changes his mind. He's gonna go inside the house to look for evidence, and what he finds is like some hula lei and some souvenirs from Hawaii. That's not enough. Then he finds the plane ticket with his name in it. So
one thing it's like you're giving him a bit of hope only to snatch it away. That's kind of the cruelty of it, which makes it funnier. So yeah, Larry just comes back home as well. He's had that little bowling game where he sees his mother as the bowling pins, which I forgot to get the shots of. I should have got the shots of. I do apologize.
Was that a deleted scene?
I don't know, but it was on this copy. But
no, that's an extra scene for sure.
Yeah, so he comes back home as well, and he's trying to talk the coppers out of not going into the house, but then he sees the strings down, and he's thinking, "Oh, the deed is done. I can sort of like, I have my alibi. Yeah, I can get away with murder." And yeah, and he's got this back and forth as well, where he's stolen them with the tea, and it's just ridiculous as well. It's like it's so stupid. It's like, oh wait, I think I gotta use the other tea. I can't have too much sugar because I've got a lot of weight. And they're trying to question him, and he just keeps diverting them. He keeps being evasive.
I love when he says, hi. He sees him in the thing. He's like, oh, hi. He's like, hi, T.
Yeah.
Trying to say hi to the T.
It's kind of, it adds the tension, but at the same time, it is very funny as well. You kind of like, he's this close to fucking giving away the game. He is.
I'm looking for this bowling scene. Holy shit. Like, yeah, because you have like let me see if I can find the exact copy of your version. What?
Yeah, it was on my version that's separated into 11 parts.
I'm pulling it up right now. No, stupid YouTube's giving me this like ad blocker crap again. Like, don't be using ad blockers. No, how about?
Oh, is it like one of those where it's blocked on the country grounds, some shit like that?
No, it just tells me like, hey, YouTube doesn't allow ad blocks, and it's like, who cares what they allow and don't allow?
Have you tried Brave VPN search engine to watch YouTube on?
I'll try that later.
I'll watch that all. I use Brave VPN to watch YouTube, and no adverts have popped up whatsoever.
Anyway, so yeah, Mom, you're alive.
I know. It's like, what the fuck?
Have to be reassured.
Yeah,
because he thinks that him and these police are going to stumble upon his dead mother, but then of course Billy Crystal's like there. So like, I don't know. He's doing that weird thing with the sugar, and
she pops in and he's like, "You did it, didn't you?" It's like, "No, I didn't, Ma." Yeah,
you wrote them to take me away. He's thinking that, Mom knows I'm trying to kill her. And she does, I think. Well, that's what they reveal later. But yeah.
So obviously they go to another plan B where he's undoing the hinges on the door as well, so she'll fall through it and die, like some kind of violent Home Alone, pre-Home Alone thing here.
I love how like once Mom shows up, the cops are like, we should go. We'll get out.
Yeah. Even though they don't want to be wrong with her.
It's like, all right, this guy's too weird to like. I don't want to be here interrogating this guy forever.
I know, and then we get a little bit more of a fake out where he hears the sirens coming. He's like, "Oh my god, my days are numbered." But it's like someone's just had an accident. Someone's getting brought in, and then you get this shot as well where he falls to the floor, and the camera just pans around the room.
Yeah.
Here's the scene. Yeah, so you got.
Yeah.
So I was jumping ahead here. I do apologize for that.
Okay.
So he rolls the ball.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
There
You're right. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, because I was like, I remember seeing this.
Yeah. And she's only just saw him earlier as well, and he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm a friend of your son." And he's like, "He doesn't have any friend. He's fat and he's stupid." And he does try and get to back off him a little bit as well, and she even tries to stop her from going through that door, but nothing happens. It's
and
like
he's like, "Let me." He's like, "I'm gonna hang my coat, my shawl on the loose door," and he's like, "Don't do it. I'll do it for you." And he's like, "Get away from me, you black bastard!" And he's like, "What?" And then she hangs it up on the curtain and on the hook, and nothing happens. And then she turns around, looks at him. He's like, "He's trying to kill me." And then she walks away. And he's like,
it also does start to give a bit more motivation for Larry to hate her as well, because she starts really mistreating him the way she's mistreating Owen. And the door thing doesn't work, but it does on him though. He fucking gets
she says that he's trying to kill him first, and then she hangs it up and nothing happens, and then she even elbows the door and like walks away and nothing happens. And then he fucking when he falls, it's like a Looney Tunes thing where he goes up to the door and he fucking slides down the stairs and hurts himself.
Yeah, it's a little bit more cartoonish in the end. Then Larry comes home and he thinks
he allegedly falls down and like kills himself, and she comes out and all she says is like, "Pain in the ass."
Yeah. And Owen comes on, he sees he's dead, and she's like, "Get rid of him. He's gonna stink the place up."
No, yeah, she says, he comes in, and the first thing she does, and she always slaps him for real in the movie, by the way. Every time.
Oh yeah, he actually, because he asked her to, didn't he?
She slaps him, and she says, "You left a corpse to take care of me. Your friend had an accident. He's dead." It's like the first thing she says to him, slaps him.
I do like Owen's reaction as well. He does seem really, really distraught. That is,
no, Larry,
the only guy who's had a connection with him is the only person that's had a connection with him could be dead.
Yeah, but all she does is say, she's so crazy. She's like, "Bury him in the yard." No, you call the cops. No,
yeah,
and of course
I know you can tell he doesn't really like the fact that she's just disregarded the fact that the only guy he's had some kind of connection with is dead as well, and so he starts blowing this fucking trumpet in her ear as well.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where like you could have done this the whole time, But yeah, he finally takes matters into his own hands and comes up with his great way to supposedly kill his mom, but it doesn't work, obviously.
I know.
But yeah, this is such a great scene, though.
Yeah, it's like, I had a dream where Louis Armstrong was trying to kill me.
Yeah, dude. And
she's so good in this. She is so good in it. She really is.
Yeah, you could see that her mouth is all swollen from her her surgeries. But yeah, dude, she's like, Louis Armstrong was trying to kill me. Get away from me, you horse's ass. And then she canes him in the nuts.
I know. She whacks him in the balls and is like, she's not a woman. She's a Terminator. But yeah, it's where he starts to understand. Listen, Larry, Owen, I get why you want to fucking kill her now. I really do. She's a monster.
It's not even that. Yeah, it's like she wasn't always like this. Like, she's just a sad, fucking angry old woman,
Yeah, it's just got this mental illness as well. But if as mentally ill as she is, if you were getting constantly whacked by her, you'd want to kill her straight away, mental illness or not.
Yeah, and then there's also, we got Owen playing on the train.
And he's like a little kid again, isn't he? He's got his little kiddie socks on as well. He's always got these.
Fucking Larry's still like unconscious on the ground in the living room.
Yeah, that's not good. You need to get this guy to a bloody hospital. He could have some kind of concussion or some brain damage or
just sleep it off.
Yeah.
That's what happened to my Uncle Dino when he was a kid. He like fell off the slide and went unconscious and got a fever, and like nobody told anybody. Like they just like took him home, and he's like, "Dino's sleepy," so he's like got brain damage. So yeah.
I can't believe I did not notice the picture of Billy Crystal with the with whatever it is in his mouth, and that's the picture they use on the news as this is the suspect of the murder.
He's like eating something. He's like being fed something.
Yeah, and you have to use that picture as well. Out of all the pictures they used, it had to be this one. That just makes it all the more funnier. But now she realizes what's happened. Is like, there's a killer in the house. It's like, this guy's gonna kill me.
Oh, and she's on the phone right now, like, the murderer's here.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm done. And yeah, and he kind of just
cuts to the train for some reason. I don't know why they're on the train.
I know it's weird. It's a weird transition this as well, because he's basically gone out of his way to avoid Larry after this last shot, but now he's on the train and they're all sat there together like nothing's just happened, which I thought was a bit weird.
Let's see why that is. I feel like there's a deleted scene here.
Yeah.
I
have a feeling that it was not needed for the story, and it probably would have interrupted the pace and would have felt a bit weird and out of character for them both as well. I would not be surprised, but I will have to see it for myself if anyone has the link to that scene. But
okay, here we go. This is why, because they're going to Mexico by train. After 2 unsuccessful attempts, Larry flees the Lift home with Mrs. Lift recognize him as a suspect from the news broadcast about Margaret's disappearance. He boards a train to Mexico, and Owen and Mrs. Lift come along so as to avoid having to lie for him. Okay.
That's yeah. So yeah, okay, that makes a bit more sense. And yeah, it's like he stops being this cynical, bitter guy, and you can really see his, like I said earlier, there is a passion through his writing. I mean, he seems to have a love for it.
He started maybe a little better. Like, hey, you know what? My wife is dead. I'm going to Mexico. Maybe things are okay. I didn't do it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is where he starts like gushing over like great storytelling.
Tale of Two Cities. Yeah, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times, and even Momma.
They say
actually says the night was sultry.
The night was humid, or the night was moist. This is what I'm talking about. You gotta have great words. It's like us on the train. It's exciting. It's mysterious. Do you say the night was humid? Do you say the night was moist? And then she just comes in with her peanuts. She's like, the night was sultry.
The night was sultry, which is a line from the book in a way. Well, I'll take on the line anyway.
Yeah. But he freaking gets so. This is where he decides I'm going to kill her because.
Yeah, I know. It's like he just snaps. He just fucking snaps. He has this real.
He has this like imposter syndrome. He has this imposter syndrome. It's the fact that he has this hatred because of it's not his ex-wife, it's himself. He's doubting himself. This is why when she points out that she had a better idea than him, it drives him nuts. He goes into like a murderous rage because this old lady has had a better adjective than he did. He is also just as crazy as Danny DeVito's character.
Oh yeah, I think he might be a little bit more crazy as well, because he does, like you said, at the end, he almost comes close to killing Danny DeVito after the meet up again a year later.
Well, he's also like, just dwelling on the past, which is just not a thing to do. It's not a manly thing to do.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not healthy. I mean, that shit will eat you up. But
that's kind of like the big thing about the train. The train is a metaphor, but it's not a metaphor for sex, I guess. But yeah, it's like emerging from your new life, I guess. But yeah, like you said, Anne Ramsey does her own stunts in this like train sequence with. I mean, that's basically the climax of the movie, and I think that's why when people watch it nowadays, this movie comes off as a bit mid or underwhelming.
Yeah, they didn't throw her off the train. I'm disappointed. The title was to throw Momma from the train, but they don't.
But basically, no, it's more like the big climax is basically like, you got some people arguing about like, who's getting murdered. And then an old lady gets dangled out of a train and then, brought back inside right away. And that's basically it in terms of like, action or whatever. But still, it's like it's all these nuances in the movie. Like the more you watch it, the funnier it gets. I know,
and to the credit, though, they do kind of back out as well. He comes close to killing her, but when she is nearly hanging off the train, he is trying to save her, and even Danny DeVito just kind of like is reminded that there were still good times with his mom, and that that killing her isn't the best thing. This is kind of nuts.
Yeah. Yep. And they rescue her, and this is where Owen realizes like he doesn't want to kill his mom. Oh yeah, and then she kicks him out of the train.
I know, it's just like, and for once, and this is like the second time they actually do come across very endearing, despite the whole despite the intense tone, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, no relationship is perfect, but yeah, they kick him off the train and he's just like, bye, Larry.
I know, and it's like no one really got hurt, though, did they? I mean, except for Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito, of course, but no one really, nothing really that terrible happened.
Good.
It's like there was no murder.
We find out that
she just fell over, didn't she?
alive.
That's it.
Yeah, and she met some like Japanese or Hawaiian fisherman who saved her, and she's getting married to him.
Yeah, but obviously he's still consumed by his bitterness as well. So much that the guy in the bed next to him has to hear him fucking bitch and moan over his ex-wife. And
now, why is he in the hospital from falling out of the train?
I don't know.
Because he says something about how what does he say about what he's doing there? Like he's getting is he there for diabetes or something? He says, I
forgot now. Yeah. But yeah, he's trying to be a little bit more less bitter about it all, but you can still see it's still consuming him. And even the little guy's like, listen, I can't take this anymore. Come on, get over it, or I'm leaving you. As if it's his girlfriend, and then he gets this dream as well where he's stalking his ex-wife at some big ballroom celebrity show business bash or whatever, and then he goes and strangles her in the sleep. And like you said with the imposter syndrome, he's mad at himself because in the next shot,
right?
Yeah.
I was still trying.
It's him who he's killing. Yeah, he's killing himself by being obsessed.
It's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Why is he?
And then that's when it hits him to just use all of his bitterness in the story, and it's like he can't stop now. It's like he's got the opposite of writer's block. He's got a story to go on. He's got a motive, everything to write a compelling story.
Oh, he's a patient in a psychiatric hospital.
All right, Jesus Christ! I really must have missed that as well.
He becomes increasingly unstable and violent after his ex-girlfriend, played by Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner, that's not right. His ex-wife.
That's not was it War of the Roses, is it, with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner? Is it? They're getting mixed up. I've not seen that film, so I don't really know.
No, I guess he's in a regular hospital. But why is he in a regular hospital?
I don't know. He probably might have really injured himself because you're getting kicked off a moving train. You're gonna damage someone.
You know what? He's got a leg cast. That's what's going on. We can see it right here. Fucking dumb. All right.
But yeah, obviously now this it's gotten to he's finally found something he can write as well and go on, and it's like, oh yeah, all that stuff that happened. That's the story. That's the story. Yeah. And
right.
Yeah.
And then he almost loses his cool again because he Owen shows up and says,
yeah, and he's like, we talk about all our things, and he does try to kill him. He really tries to kill him. It's like, yes, he does squeeze his windpipe, and if it wasn't for Owen pulling out the children's book, Owen would be dead. So Billy Crystal probably is a lot more psychotic than Owen is.
But we find out that Mom did actually die of natural causes. Eventually, it's been like a year or so since the hospital. He's got his book, and he's got memoir,
it's such a good callback. It really is. And look, he looks a lot more well-adjusted as well. It's
he's back to smoking cigars.
Which kind of feels like a little bit like a Misery reference as well. Like every time he writes a novel, finishes a novel, he's like he smokes a cigar and drinks champagne, something like that.
I'm not joking. My mom had this exact same bag. Like it was like this kind of weird, like it's like these weird like a beach bag, Like it's made out of like some kind of waterproof mesh material, and it's got a little handle on it. It's like a giant purse, You just put all your beach stuff in it. But yeah, he just shows up with this like.
Hey, Dave, man, you doing?
Yo,
I need to get you on the stream, David Wilson. I feel like I've been rejecting David Wilson. I'm rejecting a lot of people for streams. I need to get them on. I'm gonna try. I'm going to get Dax and Air on next week for Con Air as well. So
cool.
That should be cool. So yeah, what was you saying again? Sorry for interrupting you.
No, I was saying Owen Wilson is like Owen Wilson. Owen is telling Larry that I got an idea about a book. It's about how me and Mom and you went on the train, and he starts calling him a slut. You slut.
It's so good. That's what I love about it. It's just so mean spirited. It's so mean spirited, but they still give you little hints of hope and some kind of like goodwill as well in a way.
Yeah,
like there's some. It's hard to describe. I can't really find the words, but yeah, it's like you got the mean spiritedness, but yet you still got the optimism as well. Like there's still hope for these people in a weird way.
Yeah, but yeah, of course, like when he shows him this children's book.
I know, it's like he's like, yeah, you tried to choke me, but since you love my book, all is forgiven.
But also, it's like the weirdest kids' book I've ever seen. Like, these are not illustrations for a kid's book, you know?
What is it? Laura likes to do something. Beth likes to ride the kiddie train at the park, so does Owen. Toot says Owen, all aboard for fun. It's
the kiddie train. Ew. But yeah, like this is a weird book, you know? But of course they all go on a picnic or whatever and have a good time, and then they all end up going to the beach at the end of the book, and it's just, oh, this is the most adorable thing. Now some of these pop-ups are actually pretty insane, like the one before that with like the bedroom furniture and stuff. It's like, dude, making pop-ups is not easy. Pop-up books,
yeah, no.
Are those still a thing?
I don't know. I've not read a kid's book in a long time for obvious reasons. So and yeah, this is where
I'd imagine pop-up books are like still a thing, and they're more insane than ever. You know, like
it'd
with
be
all
cool.
these, like,
I should go down
to.
I should go down to I should go down to a bookstore and see if see what pop-up books are like these days. So this is like the only part of the book as well that's basically foreshadowing the future.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's something that didn't already happen. And I love this cover art for his book. Yeah. Throw Mama from the Train from Larry Donner.
It looks very. It feels like something out of a German expressionist silent film as well. The look of it. It looks like a Tim Burton kind of front
It'd be
cover
cool
as
if
well.
this was like the actual poster art for the movie, but it isn't.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, and of course you ever see a Weeble snorkel.
Yeah. Yeah. All that's missing is a rum ham. So, and yeah, obviously,
for some rum ham.
Yeah. Oh yeah, rum ham. That does actually sound delicious. I might have to look down.
This is where Larry criticizes him. He's like, you're
yeah, it's like one little critique as well. And is like,
hate makes you impotent, love makes you crazy, and somewhere in between you can survive. And he's like, it's cryptic. And then she's like, yeah, it is a little cryptic, you know? And he's like, yes. It's like he writes like with his head up his ass, you know? Like
yeah, so it goes to show that he can be a bit pretentious as well, Larry, because he's an artiste, isn't he? He's trying to be an artiste.
He's not a writer.
Which
he's
is
an artist.
always a big calling sign for being pretentious.
And then, we end with them all going into the ocean, and they play like some fun beachy world
it pretty
music.
much ends with him constantly insulting Owen, which I thought is a really funny note to end on. It really is. You got this nice little hopeful ending there where
maybe
Larry has finally got his book out, and Owen has finally got his book out. They're getting some kind of success out of it, and yeah, it's got Billy Crystal just downright destroying Danny DeVito's character here while the credits roll. I love it. I just love it.
Piece of shit, and I hate you. How dare you call my book cryptic?
Yeah, and then as soon as the screen goes black, he probably strangles him off screen and strangles his woman off screen as well. So
Larry got stung on the chest by a stingray.
Oh yes, yeah. It's actually been 20 years since that happened to Steve Owen. Fucking hell!
Good God,
I can't believe it's been that long.
40 years old almost.
I know it's old. But one thing I forgot to mention is that Billy Crystal and DeVito do have some good chemistry. They actually do work well together on screen, and the fact is that you got Danny DeVito directing this as well as acting.
Well,
and I don't.
No, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're going to say something, weren't you?
Well, no, it's off topic a little bit.
I know. Well, like, all right, just say it anyway. Fuck it.
Well, it's just interesting because like they made a trade off with Warner Brothers Orion Pictures because they wanted to use Strangers on a Train, obviously, because it's like you got to use footage from the movie. And Warner Brothers didn't want to give the rights away, but then they realized Orion had the rights to Arthur. So they wanted to make Arthur 2 on the rocks, so they traded where it's like, we'll give you the rights to Strangers on a Train, and you give us the
I
rights
remember
to
reading that.
Arthur. And Arthur 2 was like a total flop. And, obviously, like I said, this movie was like one of the bigger movies of 87. So it's pretty fun. And yeah, like I said, it was nominated. Anne Ramsey got nominated for Golden Globe, Saturn Award. She won the Saturn Award. And she also got nominated for the Academy Award. And also, Danny DeVito got nominated for Best Actor Golden Globe Award. Interesting.
Yeah, there's one thing I noticed about Danny DeVito's character is that his line delivery is a little kind of like not a little bit stiff at times, but I think it makes sense to his character because he's kind of an innocent, despite the fact he's a bit of a nutcase as well in a way.
Yeah, it's
weird. It's like, oh my god, you crashed that car, Larry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because like on the there's like the classic movie cover where Owen is just like pleading with Larry on the train tracks, and it's like the tagline is so hilarious. It says Owen asked his friend Larry for a small favor: throw Mama from the train. It's just like, good God, dude, it's good stuff. But yeah, just a weird. A fun little weird movie, The film received mixed reviews, but it was a commercial success.
Yeah, who cares about reviews? I mean, coming from someone who does review movies, yeah, I can say, listen, it doesn't always matter about bad reviews. I mean, what's important is did you like the movie?
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, the first time you watch it, you're like, that was okay. But like the third or fourth time you watch it, you realize like it is very funny.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't just done a wacky comedy that's inspired from Alfred Hitchcock. No, he has put a lot of work into it as well. There is some layers to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Danny DeVito, man. What other movies did he make that I didn't name?
I don't know. I think you remember. I think you already mentioned Duplex, Death to Smoochie, Matilda, I can't, and the Hoffa movie as well.
Let's see. There's a few others, I'm sure. And that's the other thing about Danny DeVito is like you see his name as a producer or executive producer on a lot of good movies, like Gattaca and a few others where you're like, I think Pulp Fiction. He produced Pulp Fiction too.
Yes, he did as well. And
yeah, he knows. He's got a good eye for movies. Yeah, I guess Duplex was the last movie he directed. He made Queen Bee, which was a TV movie, and then since then he's made some shorts. Interesting, but yeah, he did War of the Roses.
I think he did.
He directed War of the Roses.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a good one. That I need to watch that as well because it's basically about a married couple trying to kill each other.
Right,
is it a Christmas movie though?
It's also, I think technically a little bit, but there's that one and the Jewel of the Nile or whatever with is that it? The one with Kathleen Kennedy or Kathleen Turner and
yeah, because I mean because he's in both of those movies, isn't he? Jewel of the Nile and Romancing the Stone, which I need to watch.
That's
again.
What I meant to say. I'm sorry, Romancing the Stone and War of the Roses. That's it.
Yeah, I don't want to watch War of the Roses. I love mean-spirited comedies, and if it's a married couple trying to kill each other, I'm all up for it.
Yeah, War of the Roses is funny. I think everyone agrees that Romancing the Stone is better.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's like it was kind of like an Indiana Jones movie that's actually set in the 80s, and it's. I think it was like one of Robert Zemeckis' big hits that helped keep his career going before he did Back to the Future, wasn't it?
Right.
So I know he had a few flops before as well, and Romancing the Stone was kind of like one of the few that Steven Spielberg, was helping him with and actually became a success.
Yeah. Yeah, what else? Yeah, like I said, Danny DeVito also directed a few shorts and TV movies.
Yeah, I think he did a film with his daughter as well, where she's looking after these old people. Where one of the old folks in the care homes falls in love with her, but I haven't seen it yet. And
Did you
I think
watch
it's free.
Duplex with Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore? They live with the old lady.
I think I have heard of it. I need to watch it. I do remember watching Nostalgic Critics video on Danny DeVito's career, and I did notice I think I might have a vague idea what it's about, but I need to look it
Duplex
up.
is one of those like super frustrating movies that's like My Boss's Daughter, or some of these other comedies where like nothing is going right and everything just keeps getting worse and worse. Like the situation just keeps getting like crazier, like sour grapes or something. But yeah, they live with Drew Barrymore and Ben Stiller. I think Ben Stiller is also like an aspiring writer, and Drew Barrymore, I forget what her job is, but they get this awesome deal on this rent-controlled New York apartment, and they find out the reason why it's so cheap is because there's a tenant who's been like grandfathered in there, and it's this old lady who's been living there forever, and they're like, no big deal, but she ends up being like the fucking tenant from hell. It's so good. She drives them crazy. This movie's actually darker than Throw Mama from the Train, because it's just really twisted. So.
Yeah, Danny DeVito really does have a twisted sense of humor, and that's obvious. And I think that's obviously why he wanted to be a regular on. He wanted to be on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because he really gets to be just downright demented on that, doesn't he? So
yeah, totally.
But yeah, even when he did Matilda, I mean, that's kind of a twisted film as well, because you got this really big hulking woman who's throwing kids out the window and spinning them in the air with their pigtails and forcing them to eat chocolate cake till they explode. It's like, God, it's nuts, but I loved it. I loved it as a kid. I really did. She was frightening as hell, but I don't know. Pam Ferris really did. She's just so compelling to watch.
The Trunchbull. She also had that mustache, just like Mom on this movie.
Yeah, not everything. Yeah, you got that close up where she's eating the chocolates, going, "That's too good for children," and she's got the brown teeth and everything, just right in the middle of the focus of the shot. It's just
so good. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can say anything else about Throw Momma from the Train. There is layers as well. Yeah, there's a kind of a very dark, mean-spirited exaggeration to it, but it does feel like, yeah, like you said, this could still be a straightforward psychological dark thriller. But you've got these two guys that are kind of idiots, and they've got these mental problems as well, which make them very inferior.
Yeah. See, like Duplex and something like Very Bad Things, these are like dark comedies because like they're dark, the characters are twisted, and it stays dark, and the characters are, they're like punished for being, bad characters. Whereas this one, Throw Mama from the Train, is less dark because there is this kind of coming around, at the end.
Yeah, like there's still a hope. There's still some kind of hope for them despite
ending,
their faults.
Yeah, this kind of learning from your ways. They're flawed characters, but they kind of grow and improve at the end.
Yeah, I still think Larry has the potential to be a killer because, especially after nearly snapping on Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he'll kill Beth later down the line.
Oh yeah. I think he does have the potential to be a killer, but that's why I like this film. There's just something very dark and twisted about.
Cheats on him with his black neighbor, and he's so traumatized by her being a slut that he murders both of them in a jealous rage.
Yeah, and you get Trudy from Miami Vice on there as well as his neighbor's girlfriend, and obviously she was still doing the show during this stuff, and that's why she was only on it for a small amount of time. But she does get one very funny moment though. It's a very brilliant moment.
See if you go back a couple.
Right. Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, schmeißt die Mama aus dem Zug.
But I love this picture. This is the original poster. I think it was flipped, but like you've got Owen like pleading, and Billy Crystal's character's like very over it. And then if you go back one more, this is the DVD cover where Billy Crystal's smiling And it's just like, no, this is
No,
not
he should be miserable that Danny DeVito is begging him to kill his mother.
right, exactly. This is such a better poster right here, yeah, exactly. And for some reason, mom's like right behind him in the other
Yeah, in a
movie.
dressing gown on the train track. It's like,
and Anne Ramsey, I think like putting her on the cover is also kind of not appropriate because she's only in the movie for like 10 minutes, but she's kind of like Heath Ledger's Joker, where like every scene she's in, it's like she steals the show. She's so memorable. And yeah, honestly, getting a bunch of award nominations for only being in the movie for a little bit, pretty good.
And it's kind of funny that just a small amount of screen time, you can make a bigger impact than the people who have more screen time.
Right.
And she was suffering from cancer as well, so she wasn't very well doing this. But she's giving it her all. She's putting all her energy into this role.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito said that she never complained. She never called in sick or anything. Like I said, when she's doing the trumpet scene, like you can see that her face is like swollen from surgery, getting parts of her mouth removed.
I know, and it's like it's very sad as well because she seemed like a really lovely woman in the interviews. A complete opposite to what you see her in the Goonies and this.
Yeah. In the Goonies too, she's like a weird, matriarchal mother to some weirdos.
Yeah, I think she is actually evil in the Goonies. She's a lot more evil in that movie because she's willing to bloody turn a kid's hand into bloody mincemeat with a bloody whisk. With a blender, anyway. Blender, that's it. She's going to put a kid's hand into a blender.
Isn't Sloth like her son, right?
Yeah, and apparently she dropped him on his head a few times, and that's why he looks the way he is and speaks the way he is. So yeah, she's a bad mother.
You should do the Goonies.
I don't know if we can talk any more about this. I think we might have already said what we need to say, but
right, yeah. But have you done the Goonies yet for Bastard Breakdowns?
Not yet.
Okay.
I kind of need to do it one day. I probably will try and get around to it one day.
All right. Yeah. This is a good one, man. It was good talking about it for a couple hours.
It
again last week.
I've just remembered before we even go into the bloody movie. I always ask, when was the first time you came across this or came to knowledge of this movie? So,
I think it's because I kind of answered it. Yeah. I was just like, it's just always been around, Watched it on. I remember my dad had it like recorded on like a VHS tape. What about you? When did you first watch it?
I think it was 20 years ago. It was like I was trying to watch some more new movies. I was looking in TV guides to see what looked interesting. And I thought, okay, I'll take this. Go to bed, go to school, come back home, watch this, and I really did enjoy it. And it's not one I watched a lot though, but it's one I probably should try because I don't really watch a film a few times in a row these days.
Yeah.
But I have really underappreciated this movie. I liked it. I just didn't watch it as much because I mean.
Yeah, I think I partly just love it so much because, like, like sentimental value, like Owen's coin collection. I just always liked this movie growing up. It was just such a weird movie.
It is. It's
not really appropriate for kids, but I don't know. I always watched it.
It is PG. I think a lot of kids can handle it, though. I mean, there's something about kids kind of like the mean stuff. They don't. Yeah. Kids are bastards. They're downright nasty. They're nasty pieces of shit. That's why we need good parents to sort of like make them 10% less nasty pieces of shit. So.
Yep.
But yeah. So my final thoughts. Yeah, it's dark. It's twisted. It's funny. It's surprisingly sophisticated as well, despite how dark and twisted it is. But it is very funny and it's very clever and it really does deserve some more attention. It really does.
Yeah, I like stories about storytelling. It's kind of meta. I do like how it's just very old-fashioned, kind of reserved, smaller, funny movie with heart, and a bunch of solid laughs.
I agree. There is some surprising heart, despite the fact it's very dark and the characters are pretty twisted individuals.
Yeah. The night was sultry.
Yeah. Kate Mulgrew, you know what? Kate Mulgrew never did it for me, but she does it for me here. She really does.
Oh, yeah. She's looking good in this movie. Getting railed by the gardener on the sofa.
Ruff, yes. Oh, okay, now that sex scene still cracks me up. Ruff.
Yeah, stop barking. Like, I'm on the phone. Like, why are you barking nonstop? It's weird. There's a point
I was watching TV. Old Yeller. Yes, I know they shoot him in the end.
Yes, I know they shoot Old Yeller at the end, of course. I love how she's talking to the publicist. I think it's Rob Reiner on the phone, right? But she's like, yeah,
I would
I'm
not
just
be
picturing.
surprised if it was his character.
I'm
Yeah,
just
it
picturing
makes sense.
like, oh, I'm watching Old Yeller. Oh, they shoot the dog at the end, right? Like, yes, I know that. It's like, oh, okay, just making sure.
Oh god, it's so fun. Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it again this Saturday probably with this time with the missus. But I think that's gonna be it. I think we've gone through the movie. We've had our thoughts as well. We've had a good laugh about this, and yeah, I don't want to have the stream go on too long. So yeah, thanks for joining me, Enzo. I'll try and get you on another stream one day. I might try and pop on the dark side on Monday morning, which will probably be your Sunday. Probably.
Technically, it's Monday morning.
Yeah, because it's Monday midnight, isn't it? So
yeah,
I'll try and pop on if I can. If it's not too much of a full house and you've got like 10 guests already,
you're always yeah, dude. It's always cool. It's always chill. Yeah, that'll be going on. I think Wednesday, the movie, we got a full length commentary for No Contest with Shannon Tweed. Me and Cinevere watched that. It was bad. It's like Die Hard with a beauty pageant, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah, are you only doing like movies that are on YouTube these days, or is it?
No. Actually, we did Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man, last week, and then
Yeah, but that was like from last year, though, wasn't it? So I didn't know if you changed your mind on.
Well, no. I do have an edited one coming out the week after next week, which is going to be Surviving the Game with Ice-T. I did edit that one, and then I've got a bunch of edited big ones coming out for July. I'm going to do Steel with Shaquille O'Neal. The Shadow with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I think Sam Raimi was supposed to be doing a remake of that and make it a little bit more faithful to the original pulps. But
we liked The Shadow. The Shadow was cool. Like it was like it was because it was like the radio pulps were they had that vibe, but also like the comic books, the stories, they had the psychic powers and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, and the Shadow is basically the inspiration for Batman along with Zorro. I mean, if it wasn't for the Shadow, we wouldn't have had Batman.
But there was another big movie we're doing. No, that's it. We're also doing like the Roger Corman Fantastic Four and Carnosaur 2. So
I need to check it out, especially with the new Fantastic Four coming out. It probably could be a good little disaster piece review for me. I don't know yet, but we'll see. You know what? I might have an idea for another Dark Side rewatch. It came up in my Facebook feed. No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan and Tom Tiny Lister.
That's been on the list.
Come on, that's a good. That's got to be a bad movie. That's worth commentating over.
Yeah, it's bad because the second movie we ever did was Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan. So, and then we did do a couple other Hulk Hogan movies last year with Santa with Muscles and
I watched that. God, that is a bad movie, but it is fun to watch because it's also, so bad.
What was the other one with the Spy Kids or whatever the fuck it was called?
My Dad's the Spy, something like that.
Some bullshit like that. Yeah. Ugh.
God, he did some stinkers. He really did some stinkers back in the day.
The Secret Agent Club, I think, is what it was called.
That's it. Yeah, he did that. Wow, what was that? Shadow Warriors. Those TV movies that came on Channel 5. I forgot what they are now.
I remember what you're talking about. There's also he's in the third Three Ninjas movie, fucking Shadow Mountain or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch these stinkers. I need to have like a really bad movie and a really bad Hulk Hogan marathon one day.
So just a Hulk Hogan marathon.
Yeah, I've got some whiskey, so yeah.
Was Hulk Hogan in any good movies?
Not that I can think of.
I think
not that I can think. I do have a soft spot for Dear Mr. Danny, even though it's absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah, Mr. Danny. That's another one that's got to be. That's the one where Dudek has showed us that there's like a random guy throwing a dog in a river in that movie.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're watching. He showed us the scene where like it's like Hulk Hogan's like jogging or something, and just in the background of the sidewalk, you could just see a guy grabbing a dog and just like throwing him in the water.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that again. I'm gonna have to rewatch that again.
Yeah, I'd never seen it.
I used to watch it a long time ago. I did like it as a kid, but now when I'm older, I'm like, I'm probably gonna hate it.
It's funny because it's Hulk Hogan, but he's wearing a tutu.
Yeah, and get that pinky up.
Oh, right. I remember that from the trailer. Get that pinky
Yeah.
up, mister. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, from what I remember, the kids actually do set up some really lethal traps. That's very Home Alone, but obviously it's like these kids are psychos. They probably should be in fucking jail.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. So thanks for joining me. And yeah, you've already promoted yourself, and I've just got a new review out. Hidden Gems, the luckiest man in America, very underappreciated movie that came out and hasn't been released in the UK yet, and there's still no word on it. So. And I've got Sunday. This Sunday will be me and Toxic and maybe some other guests going through episodes. I think it's 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8, 9 of Buffy season 2. I've forgotten what episodes they are, but Toxic will remind me. So join us on Sunday. I don't know what time yet, but hopefully UK afternoon or whatever. And yeah, Nielsen Ratings on Tuesday, where you can spot me and Enzo talking bollocks about good movies and shit movies, old and new, with the Outcast Creative and Inside Man if he makes it. And yeah, I think that's about it. And I think next week will be Connor with me and Daxona. And maybe I might get another guest on as well. Like,
Put the bunny down.
Yeah. It's another film that you should be bad. That that should be bad, but you still end up enjoying it anyway because it knows what it is. Dude, it has fun with the premise. I'm going
to talk about it on Tuesday on Nielsen Ratings, but I saw for the first time. I'd never seen it all the way through, but Gone in 60 Seconds. That was cool.
Yeah, I watched it a while back, and I don't know if I liked it as much as I used to, but I don't know. I was a little bit drunk, so I'm going to try and watch
more into the like all the cinematography and stuff was really cool.
Yeah, it does look very Michael Bay-ish as well.
Also, the soundtrack. I was like, dude, if I had watched this as a kid, I totally would have bought this soundtrack with all the Crystal Method and Fatboy Slim and shit on it. It's like, oh, yeah, that was like totally
there's a very early appearance from Timothy Olyphant as well before he kicked ass in Justified. There's a few good actors as well. Delroy Lindo,
bunch of great actors in that one.
Loads, man.
Yeah, it's like an all-star cast almost.
Yeah, Robert Duvall, Goviani Ribsby, if I'm pronouncing his name right there. You can never pronounce his name, but it's good. Yeah. Yeah, and Angelina Jolie, peak Angelina Jolie as well back in the day, man.
She had like this like kind of white trash thing going. I was like,
oh yeah, she definitely did. I mean, she is a bit nuts, though. I mean, she showed up at a awards bash with a pendant with blood in it, and she was getting off with her brother. But I still would. Yeah, I mean, come on. Even if she was your sister, you probably would anyway. We'd have a beautiful abomination together. We would.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm joking. Not everyone in Hull is inbred. Just 90%. That's all. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Enzo. Everyone in the chat, Lord Toxic, David Wilson. Thanks for joining us. Ghost in the Craig. I'm going to try and do another stream with you. It's been a while and I haven't streamed with you as much. I've been really underappreciating you. I'm going to try and see if we can get Tony Down Under on again as well because he's he's a great guy and I don't get him on enough. So thanks for joining me, everyone. And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching. And do remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and to ring that bell in order to be notified. And if you wish to further support this channel, links will be in the description below if they aren't already. And right now, that's me and Enzo done, and we are off to the pub. Enjoy your weekend, you beautiful bastard.
Can I have spuds, please?
Spuds! Good choice. George's song. Listen very carefully. The question comes straight after.
Baked potato changed my life. Baked potato showed me the way. If you want to know what is wrong from right, you must listen to what potatoes say.
Don't be good, don't be bad.
Baked potato.
Don't be happy, don't be sad.
Thank you, baked potato. And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potatoes say.
Don't be early, don't be late.
Thank you, baked potato.
Always eat what's on your plate.
Thank you, baked potato. And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potato